Doing it now.
Okay, Colin, you popped in just right at the last second, literally.
The dead body's just off screen.
No.
How you doing, Colin?
I'm doing good. It's good to be here. I'm ready to talk about movies. How are you guys doing?
Doing all right.
Really good.
It's been a month.
It's been something.
I was telling Simon that that there was a lot of movies that I had listed that I was interested to watch or to talk about, that the ones that I remembered liking. And I felt like that there was more in this year than in 2009.
Really?
Yeah.
Wasn't a lot for me. Did
Really?
Yeah, same.
Did you see a lot that you wanted to for this year?
We didn't watch.
We didn't have
nearly.
time. I mean,
Yeah.
I was mentioning.
Well,
to
we
them
just
that
don't always budget our time well when it comes to doing that.
Yeah,
And we wait
and,
till the
well,
last week.
Okay, we got a little late. I got a little
Hi,
late.
Glenn.
I was so I've been into Mass Effect lately, so I've been kind of just on that.
Nice.
And
what system is that? Computer? Or?
Well, yeah, you could get it on PC. I've been playing the Legendary Edition on the Xbox Series X.
Nice.
So I've been addicted to that.
Nice. Yeah.
But then we also had to help a friend get his stuff out of a place because he's been evicted. So we're trying to help him out with that. So we've been busy with that. So we've been kind of distracted. So I finished one of the films today, and that was
right at the last hour. I think you had an hour to spare by the time you finished. It was The Town. And did you guys know that?
Good morning.
There's multiple cuts of The Town. Hi, it's good evening for us. It's good early morning for Simon.
But it's good morning.
It's good morning over there, Malaysia.
I didn't know that.
What about the extended editions?
The Town. No, I think I saw it once. The Ben Affleck action.
Yes, and so it ends totally differently than the one I remembered seeing. I saw the theatrical cut. In the extended edition, something totally different happens with his character.
Interesting.
And yeah, I mean, I don't.
So I watched the other ending of that movie.
Yeah, he saw the extended edition ending, which is not the one that I didn't like that one. Timothy, if you're watching this or whenever you get around to listening to this on your ride home, whenever, did you know that the extended edition was different than the theatrical? And if so, was that why you decided to put, because we have it in our Vudu library. We don't have the theatrical one. We have the extended. So I'm just like, why? I don't like this one. I don't want this one.
How the ending? I don't remember the ending.
Okay.
How did it change?
Spoiler alert.
Okay, yeah, spoiler alert for anybody who hadn't seen it. In the original one, in the theatrical, he leaves money for the girl and leaves a note. She uses the money to open up this ice rink or something. And then you see him later. He's off down in Florida. He's safe. He's evaded the authorities and he's escaped. And that's how the movie ends. On this one, he gets shot and killed by a bunch of gangbanger drug people.
Whoa.
The same.
I was like, what the heck? What?
It was the one where he broke the guy's leg.
Yeah, because he asked how his leg was. And I was thinking to myself, I don't remember this scene at all.
Did he still give her the money?
He still gave her the money because that's how it ends. With her getting the money. She opens the ice. Say what?
And then he gets beat up and killed after that.
He got killed by these drug people. I think he got killed before it even showed the part about her getting the money. So I was like, I don't like this ending.
Huh.
I don't like this.
And Jeremy Renner was something else.
Yeah, Jeremy Renner. Poor Jeremy Renner. I'm sad thinking about him now.
I feel like that's when I first heard about Jeremy Renner, was around The Town.
Yeah, maybe. I think he had been in the Hurt Locker before that, right?
Oh, that's it. Okay, yeah, I know.
Yeah, because I think I had heard of the Hurt Locker. I never watched it, but by the time I saw The Town, I knew who he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought he was very convincingly a baddie in there.
Mm-hmm.
I always find his acting flat.
He was acting.
Excuse the pun.
Oh, man.
Simon, maybe you should just be high again.
Maybe.
Oh man, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. The poor fella.
Not watched any of those ahead. Oh, you have not. Oh well, we just spoiled the ending of The Town for you, Chris.
Uh,
Sorry about that. Okay, I love that movie. I guess he's talking about The Hurt Locker, maybe.
So I guess which box office one should I follow, because they have the worldwide gross.
I prefer the worldwide.
But then there's the American one.
Well,
What's the source? What
it's
site?
Wikipedia. Both of
Oh.
them are Wikipedia.
Except on one page where it has actually all the lists that didn't make it to the box office, they have all the lists of the movies that came out throughout the months. But they also have the box office.
Yeah,
list.
they just have domestic, and then they show all of the films. So where you can go down and you can see all of the films. But I usually like to, I never even check Box Office Mojo, Simon. It's always Wikipedia for whatever reason that I look.
Yeah.
So
All right,
what does
well-
Box Office Mojo show? Worldwide gross?
Domestic or worldwide, it's whatever.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, I guess.
Well,
Like, is it
whichever
private
one.
chat?
Oh, okay. I
So, number one would be Toy Story 3.
Yes, and that
We did-
surprised me.
We saw that one that year.
Oh, I see. It's right side by side. I like this list so much better. Wow,
That's
it
what I'm
was
saying.
it domestically it did 415 million, and worldwide it did more than $1 billion.
Yeah.
So it surprised me that was number one. Honestly.
But then beside that would be Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, have y'all seen that?
Johnny
No,
Depp.
no, I didn't
never-
see that one. Yeah, it looked too over the top, I guess.
I'm just not into Alice in Wonderland, so
Yeah,
I was never interested in it.
yeah, I don't know. Tim Burton is like, he got a little. He's always weird. I don't like.
He must be high.
I don't like how he became after he started when he got more like studio money. It felt like his style didn't really work as good. I don't know. And a lot of his more recent movies, when they were in the 90s, his movies had a little more like edge to them or whatever. But
Hmm.
I don't know, like the Alice in Wonderland and I don't know, some of those other new ones, Willy Wonka and that stuff that he was doing.
The Barber, the Sweeney Todd.
I guess even that's a little in its own category. But
Oh,
it just feels like he didn't do good. I don't think he does good studio, big budget stuff. That's me. That's me.
Number 3 would be Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Part
Deathly
1.
Hallows.
Mm-hmm. I also remember seeing that in movie theaters as well.
Oh yeah,
That was
that's
fun.
right. Then we had to wait a whole stinking year for the next. That was
Uh-huh.
wait. Do we have to wait a year or was it 6 months?
Well, it came out in
remember.
November, I think, and we had to wait until July.
Okay, so it was like a half a year wait, approximately, a little bit more than.
Tim Burton is weird. Never got that vibe. If you see his work, it's kind of odd.
He's being funny, Arturo. He knows he's being sarcastic. This quote that Chris put up, did you guys recognize it? Because was that from The Town?
Yeah, it is from The Town. Don't you
Oh,
remember?
okay. No, because I wasn't paying attention when you were watching it. I was working. I told you.
I'm a genius.
Oh, D Movie Man's here.
Hey,
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 how you doing, D?
good. How are you guys?
Doing okay.
you're good.
Oh, D, guess what I saw today that beat the record
Oh,
of Halloween of Halloween 2018.
is it what I think it is?
Yes, it is. What do you think it is? I finally got my mom and dad, dragged them to the theater with me.
Oh wow. Oh, how was it? Just as good as the.
It was so good. This movie has never gotten old to me. Yes, I had a big grin on my face, like flushed with adrenaline, just like as if I'd never seen it, even though I knew it was coming, but I was just like, oh.
Oh,
Anyway, yes, sorry. Tangent, had nothing to do with 2010. We just started talking about the top 10 and we've gotten down to just number 3, Harry
Yeah.
Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Which I actually have not seen.
Have you seen any of them, D?
I've seen all except the last 2.
What the heck? Why
What?
did you do this? Are you
man,
just
you
like
gotta-
working your way up, and like, have you recently started watching it and you're working your way up, or did you just stop watching it a decade ago?
Yeah, see, it wasn't intentional. It's because it's kind of what happened with the same thing that happened with the last book, because I read through the entire series and then all of a sudden, I just remember when the Deathly Hallows came out. It's just like it was everywhere. Like I couldn't. It's like it was everywhere, everywhere. And people kept talking about it. So initially, I was like, let me just wait and
Right.
kind of get away, because it's like I keep hearing so much about it. Literally, Mom, we went on vacation to Costa Rica, and all over the beach, people were reading the Deathly Hallows. Like it was like no matter where I went, it was there. So I kind of had a little disconnect. So I was like, okay, I need to step away from this, and then I'll come back. And then somehow I didn't come back. So
You totally forgot.
yeah,
You just weren't invested at all in the characters, were you?
I mean, no, because it's weird.
I'm teasing you.
No, it's crazy because it's like I enjoyed it so much, but I don't know. I think that was which I think I was too young to really understand.
Okay, D. All right. You know what this means.
Uh-oh.
This means watch party.
Harry Potter party.
That's what we need to do. That needs to be one of our watch party things.
Oh, we have so many to.
I know. It's all the movies. I want to see all the movies.
Exactly.
So sad.
So number 4 is Inception.
Yeah. What'd y'all think about that one?
I liked it.
You liked it?
Yeah, I was gonna say I liked it, but it took time for me to appreciate it, because the first time I don't know what my expectation was, but when I was sitting there, I was like, I don't know if I prepared myself for the deep dive.
Right. There was a lot of it.
Because the whole, dream within a dream on top of a dream, but wrapped in another dream, but actually opposite side of the other dream. And it's not reality, it's just another reality folded into 2 other dreams. I was like,
Of another dream with another dream with extra other dreams and another dream beside that dream with another connection of another dream with this dream that's farther away from another dream, and then 50 miles down that way is another dream.
I remember liking it, but not loving it.
It's kind of how I felt. And I think I had really high expectations because, he had just made his last 2 movies was like Prestige and Dark Knight.
Yes.
And I was kind of like, this is, and Leo DiCaprio and the whole like craziness of it. And I remember seeing it with all my friends like midnight, and we were all hyped. And my friends were like, this is the best movie I've ever seen. Like,
oh gosh.
And I was like, man, I really liked it. I just I didn't like it that much. I wish I did. I wanted to. And I don't know. I have it and I watched it a few times since, and it's really good. I do think like some of the tension for me, I lose some tension because it's like I don't care. It's like I still think they do a good job despite that. I like making it really engaging, and I'm hooked pretty much the whole way through. Like I think the ending, it starts to feel like a movie. Like when it becomes him and like his love interest and the world falling apart, and like she's there, and is he gonna get stuck there? It like all of a sudden I feel like it started to just feel like a movie to me. Whereas before that I was kind of hooked in. Like, well, what is this? But then at the end I'm like, this is a movie. Like if that makes sense. But still, it's really. I mean, Christopher Nolan's always above average, and I think it's really good.
Well, were either of you guys able to finish or even get around to or even have interest in Tenet?
Oh yeah.
I couldn't see D. Am I on the same page with you on this? Like I couldn't make it past the first 30 minutes. I just had to give up.
Okay. Well, see, the thing is, were you at home?
I was at home.
Okay.
Should I have been on the big screen?
See, that's the difference. Yeah, I went because I was coming and then of course it was in the midst of the, it's the big return to theaters, and I was like, oh my God, I've already been away so long, and it wasn't high on my list, but I figured, okay, this is some kind of big in your face. Sometimes you want kind of an experience type of movie, and I figured that's what it was going to be. But oh my gosh,
I was lost. I was so lost.
It's like the ideas are there, and like I said, I think I had the initial experience with Inception, even though I got it. It's just that I didn't prepare myself for just the layers that I kind of
Yeah.
But in it, I don't even know if I can say that there were I almost feel like he was trying to do the same thing, but with some films, it almost feels like, you know, confusion for the sake of confusion. It's not because we lack intelligence, because we're perceptive people, but it's just like it seems like you're going out of your way to make this something very obscure and just kind of difficult to experience. And I don't need something, you know, super watered down, or I don't need to be babied. But it just felt like this was so, let's just make this as hard to enjoy as we can.
So it definitely wasn't just me. I know I had seen other people talking about that. And I was disappointed because I generally do like Nolan's movies. But I think Inception was about as deep as my brain was willing to go. And with Tenet, I was just like, bloop, bloop.
So you prefer Dunkirk over Tenet?
Yes, I did. I did prefer Dunkirk over Tenet,
even though Dunkirk's editing was. Like,
I wasn't crazy about Dunkirk. I did not like the way he put that movie together.
Oh, why?
Same.
I didn't like the back and forth, and I was confused as hell.
Oh no,
I was so confused.
Yeah, see, I haven't seen it, so I'm curious. Like,
you haven't seen it? Oh, okay. So he I don't know if that's the same issue you had, Simon, but with me, like, he did all this jumping, and there was no clear indication that you had shifted viewpoints to a different person in a different point in time. And so it took me a bit for my brain to, I was like, wait, I've seen that burning ship already. Oh, this is told from this guy's perspective. Oh, okay. And that actually pissed me off. I didn't like that. As far as how it was, you know, like the story and the action and the stuff, that was fine. But I didn't like. But I do generally like his films. But
I will give him credit for that film. The dogfight scenes were great.
Yeah.
It was like Top Gun Maverick, because he was using real like planes and stuff like that.
Really,
and I really liked when the ship sank. I did like that scene. That was like very intense.
Yeah,
so there's a few things I liked about it, but
the 10th Doctor. Sorry, and Tenet is not the same. There's a totally sorry. They in the comments.
David Tennant.
No, that's David Tennant. Yeah.
Well, it was Denzel Washington's boy. That was
yeah, and I didn't even know he was an actor until I saw the trailers for that. And maybe someone on my channel, I think it was someone on my channel, told me who he was, and so I was like, "Oh, I had no idea." So I was eager to watch it.
So, what do y'all think of the whole Nepo baby discussion that's going on right now?
The whole what?
Nepo baby discussion.
Oh, with his son. Because of his son?
Who?
Well, everyone.
Denzel Washington's son, you know, is
Maya Hawke.
That right. Lots of kids and
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Isn't that always been the case? I mean, Drew Barrymore and forever.
Yeah, that's that's definitely not anything exclusive to Hollywood.
There's more people. There's more everything now. There's more people. There's more of that. There's more people talking about that. But it's not.
Wait, what happened?
Oh, he's talking about what he's referring to is nepotism, which is when someone gets into a position because of someone that they know, or like a family member who is, and they only got that position probably because of that's family, who their connection is.
Works everywhere and always has. Like,
yeah, it's true.
Most people's jobs is because they know. So, like, my dad knows someone. My friend knows someone. That's how everything always works. So
it's going to be understandable. I mean, Denzel Washington's a big actor. So, of course, his son at some point will be acting.
Well, I was determined to watch a movie all the way through with him in it because I couldn't finish Tenet. And I'm like, well, I want to watch a movie with this guy in it. So then I watched Amsterdam. He was in Amsterdam. So I finally got, what's that?
And you did enjoy it. From what
I did enjoy Amsterdam.
I did not watch that.
I think you would like it's not fast paced, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was, I don't know.
And that's what really kind of sucks about Hollywood, though, is like, it's not like your talent. If you go there, and if a bunch of people from across the country went there with the same amount of talent, it's the one who has the best social skills and networking skills behind the scenes that's going to get the most roles. Because that's how the world works. It's just like
I think it's just human nature. It certainly isn't anything that only Hollywood is guilty of. It exists everywhere. It's frustrating for people who have, like, let's say they have real talent, and yet somebody's son or daughter gets the role instead just because of who they are.
You know, artists.
I do appreciate when the son or daughter or the person that's connected is actually a good actor.
Right.
So
Mhm.
that makes it okay. It's like, all right, they actually are pretty decent. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say because that even goes back to and I don't think I realized it until this was like some years back, maybe like I don't know if I was high school, but like Jamie Lee Curtis's mom was Janet Leigh, and she was in
Mhm.
Psycho. Melanie
Yes.
Griffith's mom was Tippi Hedren, and she was
Yes,
in
the
Alabama.
birds.
So like
Mhm.
yeah, so like that way, you know, and probably even further back then, but even kind of realizing, oh, because you know, in my mind, you know, when you're young, these are just actors, and then as you get older, you understand kind of the legacy and then the connection, you know, as far as how some of them, not everyone, but at the time, I just assumed that they just came out of nowhere, and then I realized, oh, they're linked to like, you know, these prestige actresses who have actually
Yes.
been around. So yeah.
And I think Jamie Lee Curtis recently acknowledged that she knew that that was probably why she got. I'm pretty sure that that was something recent. It was trending on Twitter, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And she was talking about, well, it was her mom that it was because of her mom, and she understood it was because of her mom that she got the role in Halloween. The upside to that is Jamie Lee Curtis is actually a good actor. So,
Right.
you know, I don't think she would have lasted very long if she sucked.
Right.
I think even if you have a parent or somebody in high position that has all these connections, I think that can only take you so far. If you prove yourself to be a crappy actor, you're not going to continue to get offers. Maybe. You think not?
I mean, if the casting director is sort of eyeing the parent up for something, or just wants to maintain a good relationship with the parent, then yeah, they're going to get jobs. So,
but I don't think they're going to have the type of career that long-lasting actors and actresses have. The ones that have proved themselves over time. Like, I don't think they'd be like a Leonardo DiCaprio type of. I don't think they'd have that sort of longevity.
Yeah.
But
I'm trying to think of anyone that's really bad.
Yeah, me too. Nothing's coming to me. Like,
right.
it's not. And sometimes the children are better actors than their parent.
There's that.
So,
and there's probably, you know, like a plus to living and growing up in Hollywood with parents that are successful, and it probably gives a certain self-assuredness that people who like move there from Missouri and don't know anybody, like, oh, I got to do it, I can't screw this up, it's on the line, versus someone's like, yeah, it's probably gonna work out. Like, you know, it probably does help them more often than not.
Yeah. Oh boy, we went off on a tangent. Sorry, y'all. Where were we, Archie? Oh, we were in Inception. Boy, we got off on a big tangent.
We did it in Inception.
We did. Okay, number 5, Arturo. Oh, Turo. Okay, he may have stepped away to go put his retainers back in. Number 5 was Shrek Forever After. Was that the third one? That was the third one, right?
4.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a 4. Oh, yeah, because 4. Oh, geez.
Ever After.
I think my kids told me we have gone to see this, but I could not tell you what it was about.
Oh wow.
I have totally forgotten.
Yeah. It's funny because I won't say purposely. I just ended up missing the third, and then I just heard from everyone that I needed to not watch it. So I've technically only seen the first 2 Shrek films, but I remember being interested in seeing the fourth again. For whatever reason, I've told you kind of like access and different. You know, it's a different ball game being younger and trying to go to the theater and having all these other features. But I remember with the fourth one, it was almost like, I don't know if you've heard about Cinderella: A Twist in Time, but it's like one of those things where it's like, you know, someone casts a spell and all of a sudden it's a different reality and all these characters are like the opposite of how they normally would be. I remember Fiona was like this really vicious, like, you know, warrior princess type of thing. Yeah.
This is in the fourth one?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, geez. I remember not liking the third one as much as the second and first one. And I remember that the second was my favorite.
Yeah.
Was that where Puss in Boots was introduced? Was Shrek 2?
Yeah.
Okay. Have y'all seen Puss in Boots?
No. I mean, I think Shrek 2 was, I think I saw the first 2 Shreks, and I don't think I've seen anyone since then.
Okay.
Yeah, but I actually want to go back and watch. Well, I want to see the Last Wish, but then because I'm hearing that so good, I kind of want to start with that one, and because I'm it's a lot better, I kind of want to compare and contrast. But I mean, I've heard, like, I think someone said on Twitter, like, Puss in Boots, the new one, has like the best like in real life word of mouth, like online and in real life. Like everyone's like, yes, you need to go see this.
I've heard it's excellent, and I almost bought a ticket for it, but I haven't yet. It's still in theaters,
Right.
so maybe I will. I have a lot of movies on my plate. I'm gonna go see Knock at the Cabin on Thursday. So
Are you scared?
Yeah.
Are you worried?
I don't know. I mean, like M. Night Shyamalan is a lot of times hit or miss. And lately it feels like he's kind of missed a little bit more. Even though I didn't hate Old. It wasn't like Signs or The Sixth Sense, wasn't, I don't know. So we'll see. But I'm liking the trailers.
I am too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see.
The thing with M. Night Shyamalan, sometimes it hinges upon the twist, and sometimes it hinges upon what comes before, like the twist. So it kind of like sometimes one works and the other doesn't. Like,
yeah,
build up can be good, and the twist sucks, and then everything else isn't good, but then the twist is good. So with Old, like I like the concept and the idea, but after a while, I was just like, am I really just watching all these people just die again and again? And again?
You think I learned my lesson? I guess we'll see. I am very curious. I'm very curious to find out.
I already read what happened, so.
Shh. How?
Because it's based on a book.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe okay. Don't say anything, Colin. No spoilers. Yes, we are going to talk about. Sorry, we're going to talk about number 6, just to bash on it. Yes, me too. I'll never watch. No, definitely. I'm with you on that one, Chris. Number 6 is
the next 3 Decembers.
I'm not going to go. I'm not.
This is the Navi's world we're living in now.
Nope. You can have it.
3 more. Avatar 5. Guaranteed.
Nope. And the longer it goes on, the more annoyed I get with James Cameron. So number 6 is the Twilight Saga Eclipse.
You know what's funny? I wasn't even looking at the list because I just wanted to know what I was going to say, and I was like, you guys are going to say something Twilight related.
Yes.
I'm back.
Is this the 4th one?
No, third.
Oh, this is the 3rd. Okay, that's right. There was the Moon one that I stopped at number 2. I just couldn't. I couldn't continue past that.
Yeah. Well,
what are we talking about?
Oh, Twilight.
Oh, ahead, yeah. I was going to bring up your favorite movie of all time.
Nope, never seen that one. Woo-hoo. Go ahead, D. You interrupted D. I want to hear his thoughts.
Oh, no, you're good. No, I was going to say, for what it's worth, and it's really not saying much, but it's probably one of the better ones out of like all the films that are there. Because to me, I never got into the series, and when the books came out, by the time I kind of circled back around to it, it had become this phenomenon. So kind of got a little disconnected from it. But as far as the films, I never, because I didn't get into the books, wasn't really interested in the movies. And in the Dollar Theater had New Moon. I was just like, this is odd, but I kind of want to see where it's going. It's kind of one of those things where my friends wanted to go, so I was just like, and then the third, it's not great. I grew up on Interview with the Vampire, so it's just like Glitter Vampires was so far removed from my experience. But
and no fangs. They had no fangs that I saw in the first 2 movies.
Sin, I think she's getting destroyed in the inside because of Twilight.
That's right.
I'm worry.
Good.
Don't worry. My vampire story is way better than that.
I'm going to take it that most of us here just didn't like Twilight or didn't see it.
I never saw
the Eclipse movie.
I saw like 5 minutes of one when like my mom was watching it one time at home, and it looked like a TV movie to me. Like it was just like bad CG in some woods. Like it was like, what?
I wish they could do vampires right.
Well, they can.
Sometimes
but this movie did not, and this book did not. And I'm annoyed that I spent time listening to the book. And I remember I listened to the book, and my brother Tim, the writer, listened to the book, and so we were both listening at the same time, and we would talk about it on the phone. And I remember it's like we had this like confusion, but like little bit of optimism that it was going to get better. And we thought maybe there was something bigger going on that we just didn't understand yet. And it's like, nope, it just sucked.
Mhm.
Sucked. Oh my gosh.
I tried to like watch all the sort of big movies, but I tried with the first Twilight 3 times and fell asleep each time. And I wasn't sure if I was getting old or if the movie just sucked.
No, it sucked. I thought, oh, the movie's surely going to be better than the book. No,
Not
wasn't.
even the first one.
No, it wasn't. And then when it took me like months to finish New Moon, I was just like, I'm not going to torture myself anymore. I just don't want to look at Kirsten Stewart. I don't want to look at her face
You
anymore.
know what
and I just don't
Matt
want to
Air
do
would
this.
say? He would.
Well, he would say it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Which is beautiful. It's a beautiful movie.
Oh gosh.
Before I forget, Dee, have you watched The Mayfair Witches? And is it any good if you have?
Made for Witches?
Mayfair Witches. It's the other Anne Rice.
So I was intrigued enough to watch it, and it's one of those things where I hear it, but I may or may not decide to watch it anyway. Because I watched Interview with the Vampire and actually really enjoyed it. It's actually I just did my top television shows, my ranking today, and it's actually on that list. But from what I'm hearing, Mayfair Witches really is a slog, and
that's what I heard.
And and the changes that they make are not helpful as far as that. Some people don't. Some people may or may not like the changes with Interview with the Vampire, but at least it does it in a way that's interesting or kind of shocking and kind of provocative. Whereas Mayfair, I'm just hearing that it's just like snooze, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, that one never really interested me, so I didn't, for whatever reason. Is it based? It's based on books, you say? Did one of you guys?
Yeah.
Oh, Anne Rice. Okay, yeah, I know. I never read the book. I've never read or listened to any of her books, which is weird because I like the type of stuff she writes, but I've just never.
Yeah, some things just miss you.
In the Vampire Chronicles, the first 2 books are good, and then just kind of goes off the deep end.
That's what I heard.
Oh, I see. Oh, what was it? Where were we? Oh, let's just.
Iron Man 2.
Number 7 is Iron Man 2.
Ugh.
Yeah, I was disappointed with that one.
I like how Whiplash hits the car with his whip hand and makes the car smash. That was cool. That
You would like whips, wouldn't you? Pervert.
No, no, but I think about that a lot when I'm just walking along the road, and it's so cool.
To do you?
Oh, dude, do you need help or something?
No, it was a cool moment. It was a cool moment.
I could get you in touch with somebody.
This was when Black Widow first showed up, and I could not stand her. Oh my gosh. I was really annoyed that they didn't cast Rachel McAdams. She's the one I wanted to be Black Widow.
She was the one in Sherlock Holmes, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And also Doctor Strange. And so they cast Scarlett Johansson instead. And she was so like all the hair flipping and and I loved that they made fun of her in the Black Widow movie with the hair flipping. I thought that was fun.
This thing that you do when you're fighting with the arm in the hair. It's a fighting pose.
And then, of course, she did it at one point, and her sister's like, such a poser. I love that.
And then when she did it, it's like, oh, that was
right.
She was like the best character in that movie.
She was. I loved her character in there so much.
When did Black Widow improve for you? Because I know that was a different introduction.
Okay. Yeah, it was weird because, so you mean the character?
Yeah.
Black Widow, so I didn't like her for a long time. I just did not.
The character's interesting. It's just the actress.
No, but that was the problem because I'm not crazy. I wasn't crazy about Scarlett Johansson. And then at some point, and I think because, I don't know, I just felt like she thought she was so great and so awesome. And like I could just detect it in her acting. And so then it was, gosh, when was it? Oh, it was when she died. It was when she died in Endgame.
Oh wow.
And
Spoilers.
Like her.
and that, oops. Well, and this is why. And it was before it happened. It was before it happened. It was the stuff leading up to that. Oh shit! Did you not know that, Colin?
No, just I didn't.
Oh.
I thought you said like I realized I liked her character when she died in it.
No, it was. This is what happened. So in the first part
Random
of the
serial
movie,
killer humor from Colin there.
Uh-oh. Are you creating a monster
so
now? Oh, boy.
I like there was something about the way her character was in the first part of Endgame. I really connected with her emotionally. That was like finally I connected with her character emotionally. And so when this thing happened with her, I really hated that.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, so that's when, because in Infinity War, I didn't feel like that about her. I mean, I didn't necessarily loathe her and actively wish that she was not there anymore. But I was just like, but by Endgame, yeah. And it was just whatever was going on with her character, with all the emotional turmoil that she was going through.
And then and considering how you and I feel about Black Widow, I'm assuming the film, her solo film, helped.
I enjoyed her solo film a lot. Yeah, that made me like her even more, and I especially liked her sister.
Oh, she was the best.
Yeah, a lot of people.
But now Scarlett Johansson,
I
for
thought
me,
it was
kind of
good.
grown a little bit on me, just a little
Yeah,
bit.
she's one of those actors that's grown on me.
She's like starting to. She has a bit more common sense about like some of the stuff going on over there in Hollywood.
Well, she
Like,
said that she feels like, actors should just act.
Just
act. Don't even get involved. And I agree with that. She was. I mean, all the hair flipping and this like. Oh God.
Did you see that video of her reading like I think it was an ancestry thing? I think
was that where she found out about her family members in World War II, Auschwitz? I think I saw a clip of that. Yeah,
I got emotional about that.
Yeah. Sorry, Simon. What were you saying?
Oh, I just want the MCU to introduce a villain called Snowcat.
Snowcat?
Think about
I don't know how they're gonna do X.
I'm a little slow on the uptake today, Simon. You might have to explain it to me.
Jeremy Renner.
Oh God. Stop it.
My God. Simon, go in the corner, please, or go get high again. I want to hear you chuckle. That's what I want.
This is the second reference he's made now. You are bad.
A Wile E. Coyote kind of thing where he's like always getting that darn snowplow and like
poor Jeremy Renner.
This little physical comedy, like some of those.
Didn't he like try to save somebody or something? I keep seeing this thing going. How accurate is that?
Well, this was from the police report, and apparently it started to roll towards his nephew or something. So he was trying to get back in the thing to stop it, but he had not engaged the brake or something like that. So, and then,
it was the indicator light for the brake wasn't working.
Oh, they said something about they were investigating to see if there was something wrong with it that may have caused. I haven't heard anything more about that.
Because the brake light wasn't working, and he just forgot to put it in brake. So,
oh gosh, bless it. Well, I just hope that I had thought from the beginning when I heard about what happened and how bad it was that he was going to lose his leg, and that still seems to be up in the air. I don't know. He's home now, but
this year is already starting off with like these celebrities dying. Like recently, that girl, what's her name? The one that recently died. She was only 45.
Yeah, that was really surprising. That's
died.
So sad.
Some other people have died. It's like what the heck?
Wednesday Addams.
Yeah, she passed away. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Was it Laverne or Shirley?
Shirley.
Yeah.
Shirley passed away.
Like this is already like this. That's already shown that this year is going to be pretty bad with that. And because it all started with Jeremy Renner almost getting killed.
Yeah, that
should have been a sign, and I already thought that was already a bad sign.
Okay, let's get off the morbid talk. Well, sorry.
Yeah, no. The last thing I was gonna say, not about that, but about the. I was gonna say, what was what was the biggest issue with you guys for Iron Man 2? Because I think the first Iron Man kind of I think it almost put the bar so high that
Yes.
the follow up was a challenge. And I think for me, it's not the biggest thing. There were other issues, and I probably have to go back and watch to see like what specifically. But I do know whether or not people like Terrence Howard, he was definitely the better choice for that role. And Don Cheadle stepping in was so off-putting to me.
Yeah.
Like, if you wanted to replace somebody, they could have found someone who at least fit the vibe of
Yes,
Terrence
exactly.
Howard.
Yeah, I couldn't feel it with him, like as that character. You were talking about War Machine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like War Machine's cool. Like he's got I don't know, colorings on his armor, but yeah, I do prefer the other guy. He just, I don't know, like the chemistry with him and Robert Downey Jr. just worked.
Exactly. I never liked the casting of Don Cheadle as War Machine. I like Don Cheadle. I did not like him, just like I like Mahershala Ali fine. I do not like him being cast as Blade. Right. And I never felt like Don Cheadle fit in that role at all. So that might have been part of it, but it just, I don't know, D. It just kind of, you know how when you watch something and you can't quite put your finger on what it is. I just felt like they were trying too hard and it just was missing the mark.
Yeah.
It just didn't connect with me like the first Iron Man did.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
Man, that was like a really, yeah.
It was frustrating. But
it was number 8 is Tangled.
Oh,
it took me years to see this one because this again your time period and I mean the years and the how often I could get to the theater, which is not that often. But I actually saw this. AMC was doing this. I don't even know what you call that. Basically, it was like some kind of branding thing, like or Disney celebration. And I think it might have even been like some kind of charity thing as far as the whole princess thing. But I finally saw it. My friends had told me I needed to see it, especially because it was that whole Frozen thing that was going on. And so many of my friends were like, this is fine, but it's overhyped. You need to watch Tangled. So I finally got to see it on the big screen when they had reached, had it back in theaters like a few years ago. And I really, really enjoyed it. Like it was really, really well made.
Yeah, I remember liking it. I've never seen Frozen. I have no desire to see Frozen.
Is it because it's become this big, the Let It Go?
Yes. At this point, it's like, well, everybody loves it, and I'm just annoyed at Disney in general anyway, so I have no interest in watching it.
Okay. Now, here's the thing. Lately, Disney has actually been boring me. Like, no matter what they put out, it's just like, okay. Like, all right, whatever. I'd rather watch something more unique, more interesting than whatever you're putting out because you don't seem to know what you're doing anymore, especially with all these properties you have.
Yeah, they've gotten pretty. They just feel really lackluster, like we've talked about before, Dave. It feels like they focus too much on quantity over quality.
Absolutely, they just shuffle it out one after the other. It's like pull back,
like
please.
I'd rather see Megan than whatever they're putting out. Megan's better than that.
Megan was so much fun.
It's different,
Megan was so much fun. D, do the dance.
See, like that. That's where my horizons have been lately. It's just I want to see
other stuff,
different. Yeah, like not any of their stuff. Like they have like some posters at the theater. They have like a new Pixar coming. I'm not feeling it. I didn't even feel it.
Yeah, I'm not really either.
What was that? Oh, Encanto. I wasn't feeling it.
Yeah, I never saw Encanto.
I didn't either.
I heard it's good, but I'm just not feeling it.
Yeah.
Nothing that Disney has been putting out lately.
I feel like the last one we saw, was it Coco?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's
I think you guys saw Coco. I never did. Remember?
Oh, that's right. You never did, because that was not a good time. I have sad memories associated with Coco, even though I really did enjoy Coco.
Oh, did we? We talked about this, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah. I think it was maybe during one of our watch parties? I don't remember, but I remember telling you about all the crap that was going on.
I will tell you this: Tangled. I do remember really liking Tangled, like late 2000s, early 2010s. Disney, they were doing pretty good with their stuff. I did like their stuff.
It was fun. I think
I did
I
like
think
it
I
a lot.
only saw it once though. I have not
It's
rewatched it.
good. I mean, playing Kingdom Hearts 3, they actually literally just copied and pasted some of those scenes from the movie. It's like
Oh,
literally
really?
ripped out of it. Yeah.
Who did the guy?
Oh, Zachary Levi.
That's what I thought. Zachary Levi. Okay. And who did the girl?
I don't remember.
It was Mandy
who did
Moore.
the girl.
Mandy Moore. Okay. All right. Yeah. The Secret World of Arietti was the Studio Ghibli film. Have you seen that, Arturo?
Oh, did that come out in 2010?
Yeah, that's what he said.
I don't think I have. Is that the one where there's like little people living in the wall?
Yeah.
That might be it. Yeah, I did not see that.
Did you say it was good, D?
I didn't get to see that one. Same.
Oh, I thought you said you. Okay, sorry, I couldn't hear you.
But I know what it is. I remember thinking that the premise was really interesting. I wanted to see it, but same issue as some of these other films. It's crazy. Like as often as I go to the theater now to think back, and it's just like I would go, but it's just like so many limitations. Now I can literally go whenever. But anyway, I digress.
Oh, wow. My cousin worked for a while doing some Disney animation. He quit because it was a nightmare.
Yes, I've heard Disney is terrible to work for.
Yeah, them, and then I've heard recently Nintendo's actually not great either. Like
really?
Like, yeah, I think recently they fired some of their coworkers because of something about union, like they wanted a union or something, some weird stuff.
And so Nintendo fired them?
Yeah, or something. I don't know. I already knew Nintendo wasn't perfect anyway. But yeah, I heard Disney's a nightmare to work with.
I'm playing Breath of the Wild again, and they can make them work hard. If it turns out Breath of the Wild 2, like if Breath of the Wild 2 sucks because their workers have better rights, screw Nintendo. I'll say it. You know, this is America.
Oh yeah, I mean, I have a love-hate relationship
known for awesome games because they don't have no guff about blah blah blah. I need an 8-hour work week or whatever. Like Japan knows how to make good games.
Yeah, they do. Like
American Nintendo think, oh, I get rights. Like you make crappy games is what you do. Sorry.
I mean, I don't know the whole detail of what's going on. I just know Nintendo, like, you know, they're not perfect just like any other company would be. Like, I have a love-hate relationship with them. Their content's great. Don't get me wrong. Their content's great. Company-wise, not really a fan. Kind of the same with Disney.
Yeah.
Like content, not fan of their company.
I like some of Disney's content. I like less and less nowadays.
Lately though, they've been flat. I could give Nintendo this credit though. They at least do put effort into giving us good content. That I can agree with.
What did you guys say about Alice in Wonderland? I just realized that was
we talked about that, and I don't think any of us. Yeah, I don't. None of us had seen it. I've never seen it. Because I'm not, you know, Alice in Wonderland doesn't do a thing for me.
Doesn't do squat for her.
And a lot of Tim Burton stuff don't really, like, I'm not really compelled to watch just because it's Tim Burton. So I never watched it. I was never interested.
Oh, okay.
I did like Sleepy Hollow.
That was like probably his more gruesome.
That was a good one.
It's good, isn't it? Yeah. So he can do some good stuff, but then sometimes he, like you said, Colin, he just kind of like a little bit, I don't know. Just
Hollow's like,
I feel like that was his more gruesome movie. Because of like the violence.
Did you like Alice in Wonderland, D?
It was kind of a mixed bag. It was like one of those, because this is like one of this and I'm gonna say it was this in one other film. This was like the beginning, like before they started doing the live action Disney films and really ramping that up. This was the first, second. And I guess what threw me off is that it's not Alice in Wonderland.
Okay.
It is a sequel. Because I was watching it and they kept referencing to the last time she was there, and I went in thinking this was like the original film, or I guess
right. That's what I thought it was too.
And it was just like, no, Alice, we remember when you were here, and they would show her as a little girl. So I was like, so this is a sequel? And like, I promise you, in the marketing, you would have never thought that going in. And so then they incorporated these really weird.
I still thought it was a remake.
Like the Jabberwockies and the White Queen and the Red Queen. And because that wasn't present in the original animated film, it was just kind of bizarre. And so then because it's Tim Burton, we have these moments where this creature that's trying to kill Alice, it gets its eye poked out. And then it's just like, it was a lot of really weird, macabre moment, which is his vibe. But it's just like, when I watch Alice in Wonderland, I don't expect to literally watch a monster's eyeball get plucked out. Yeah. It just was, the tone of it was just bizarre. I didn't regret watching it, but it's so far removed from, Alice in Wonderland is just kind of, it falls into kind of the quirky silliness, funniness of it all, and the tone of it was not that at all.
Yeah. Tim Burton can't do the tone of that. Yeah, cartoony Tim Burton is just off-putting. He needs to be adult Tim Burton. There's
a darker version of Alice in Wonderland, the video games.
Yeah,
I actually do want to play that. That would be the type of one I would like to experience.
Yeah,
when it comes to that storyline, it's really good.
Yeah, Alice being in an insane asylum and kind of being it was really interesting.
Yeah, I really want to play those games. Number 9 is Despicable Me.
Yeah,
I looked at this list. This whole top 10 is kids movies. I haven't seen any of them. I've seen
not the whole top 10.
Not all of them.
Inception's
not.
Okay, Toy Story 3, Alice in Wonderland.
A lot of them are. That's true, though.
Okay,
they're all. Even Iron Man 2 is targeting teenagers. It's not targeting adults. So Inception is the only top 10 that's targeting adults. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. Wow. There are a ton of them on here.
The children generation.
It is it's the corporate.
Did you know that the 2010s was it was kind of like the decade of the 2010s movies is kind of very heavily focused on blockbusters.
Oh yeah,
that was when just tons of them started to come out.
Yeah, it becomes bleak.
2010s were pretty good for a lot of good content that came out.
There's a lot. There's so much that's made. There's lots of good stuff. It's not.
The games were great. Some shows.
Well, also the worldwide aspect, I think, is why you see a lot more of those family films and really broad stuff, because they're trying to sell it to America, China, France, all these different places that are totally different. So they're just trying to be look at the minions run around. That's what sells everywhere.
Now they're big. They're just big.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Despicable Me. I haven't seen any of these movies.
Yeah, I saw the first one, and it's kind of one of those situations where I never, for whatever reason, didn't go back. But I really enjoyed it enough to, to see another one. But unfortunately now, I mean, I could still go back and watch it if I wanted to. But of course, when you kind of capture the magic the first time, and then merchandising takes over, and we have to sell, and now you can't go anywhere without minions being in your face. So.
Right.
Yeah.
But
they got much to say about that one. And then the last one is How to Train Your Dragon. This is the only How to Train Your Dragon I've seen.
Same.
They're all good.
Yeah, I've heard they're good. So yes. You know what, Sin? We need to watch those movies whenever we get to the year. Because I've been meaning to watch this.
I almost feel like we need to rewatch the first one because I don't remember a lot about it. I just remember that I liked it.
Yeah.
And I remember that I thought the guy who did the voice acting as the main character, I thought that was Christian Slater. But I knew it wasn't.
But we saw it.
When it was Gerard Butler did the dad, right? Gerard Butler was the Scottish dad, I think.
Did he? I don't remember, Colin.
This one, and I did like this one. For a kid, I usually don't see these movies, but sometimes I do, and I like this one. I like some of the flying, and I like the Scottish accents and comedy. Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Mm-hmm. I enjoy
it. Okay, in answer to the question, we just finished talking about the top 10. And thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed listening. So I guess now we're going to branch out into
the list.
Just a bunch of different movies because there was a lot.
Yeah.
For me, there was a lot that I wrote down.
The list right now.
I'll be right back.
Okay, Sam, There's
Yes.
something you and I are gonna have to watch on one of these watch parties.
Okay, I'm gonna write it down so I can add it to our little list that we've got on Letterboxd.
It came out this year, and I know you're going to love it because
No, you're being sarcastic.
it is a sequel to a film I know that you appreciate so much because I love it so much. We have to watch Titanic 2. Okay?
Oh no! Stop it.
Titanic 2.
There is no Titanic 2 coming out. What are you talking about?
There's a Titanic 2 that came out in 2010.
What?
Yeah,
No.
Logan was talking about that.
What? Are you serious? Wait. What was it about?
I have no idea.
All right, I got to go look at I have to go look at this. This can't be. And no, I will not, D. I'm going to have to refuse.
A century after the fateful voyage of the original modern luxury liner Titanic 2 sets sail. Will this ship suffer the same fate as her namesake?
What? This completely passed by me.
I didn't know about it until I think one of my coworkers, I think Logan, was talking about it.
Do you see what it's rated on IMDb?
What's it, like a 0?
1.6.
Okay. Sure, D. We'll watch that.
I've never seen it, so it's like one of those we have to watch to see just how bad it is.
Do you like bad movies, D?
Yes and no. It's touch and go there because I watched. I didn't know it was going to be bad like that, but I watched Crank, and I got on ID, and I was like going in. I was just like, "What have I done to deserve?"
I still haven't seen it.
Yeah, I can have fun though. If it's bad, I can have fun.
Percy Jackson actually came out this year. The first
okay.
one. Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief.
I love those books, actually. I listened to all those books and I enjoyed them. In answer to your question, Chris, yes, I did see The Fighter. I liked it. Christian Bale did a good job in there. I felt like his Oscar was deserved. And but it's not anything that I'd really love to watch again. I do remember going to see it on the big screen.
Is it because it's unpleasant?
It's okay. I mean, it has sort of a happy-ish ending, right? But it just I'm not into boxing movies too much.
Right.
I just don't really care.
Yeah, I'm kind of like that with sports stuff in general. Like there are exceptions to the rule where I can really enjoy them. So for me, like I do enjoy like the first 3. Like I enjoy some of the Rocky movies, but boxing in general, like those films are not like my go-to.
Yeah, sports films. Yeah, I like there are some, like you said, exceptions for me, and this isn't boxing, but it's MMA. Like I loved Warrior. I love that movie.
Right.
So much. But that's not typical. For me.
There was also
before we go on, the reason I asked you if you like bad movies is because recently I remembered one, which is something called Fatal Deviation from 1998. It was made for less than $10,000, and it has the distinction of being Ireland's only feature-length kung fu movie.
Oh gosh,
and it's awful. It is absolutely terrible. You can watch it on YouTube whenever you want. So,
oh wow! And the director's name is Simon.
Mm-hmm. Was it you, Simon? No, I'm teasing.
No.
You'd have been too young. So we have had. Okay, so this movie has been mentioned multiple times by the same person. Birdemic. Have you guys watched Birdemic?
Oh, it came out that year? Isn't that the one?
Yes.
I think that's the one JonTron did a video for.
Oh gosh, I thought about watching it and I never got around to it, and I'm not sure.
From what JonTron showed, it looks horrible.
Yes, I've heard.
And the birds are like
pretty
3D. Gosh.
See, if I want to see, I don't know. I'm not generally a fan of watching bad movies, but like there's some movies that I like, but they're terrible. If that,
Right.
so that's weird, right? So terrible in different ways, not necessarily terrible because they were just made very poorly or anything like that. I'll give you an example. Y'all, I watched Pathan this past weekend. Holy crap, that movie.
What is that?
Oh,
It's an Indian movie. It's from India.
Oh, that one that everyone's been talking about?
Yes!
Oh no.
So this movie, it was fun, but it was so absurd. Like some of the stuff these people did, and they weren't even supposed to be superheroes or anything, but they're doing stuff is just like, I think I even mentioned in my review video, there's this one guy, he's fighting, and like his either his leg breaks or his knee gets out of joint or his leg gets out of joint or something, and he just reaches down and just like pops it back in and then just carries on with the fight like nothing happened. And I'm like, oh hell no, that's not possible, because it hurts really really bad when your kneecap pops out, I know. And even when it pops back in, you can't just get back up. And I don't care how trained of a soldier you are, it's not whatever. There was so much stuff, y'all. And so I was like, this movie's really weird. It was enjoyable. Oh, and of course they had to have the music video in the middle of all of it. This big song and dance number. I'm like, I can't. This just takes me way out of it. But it was fun.
Exactly.
It's so weird.
It's just like with I don't know if you would consider that. Well, I don't know if either of us would consider it bad, but it's one of those films that's considered bad. But it was such a fun time, I didn't really care. But
Okay.
remember, I think we both saw the Hitman's Bodyguard's Wife.
Oh yeah.
It was really ridiculous.
It was ridiculous, but I enjoyed the heck out of it.
I did too. Yeah.
So maybe that is an example of being able to enjoy a bad movie. I don't know. I mean, I guess like with the Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, you kind of have to, just like with Pathan, you have to just like leave your logic over there by the door.
yeah.
And that's not something I can usually do. And because I haven't really watched a lot of big Bollywood movies, I saw Manam Murali, which is a Mollywood movie.
Okay.
And that was more rooted and grounded in this feeling of reality with the character. And so I think that spoiled me. So I go into Pathan and it was just like, it's just like so extreme and crazy. It was just, anyway, it is weird.
Bollywood's awesome.
A lot of people love, I really don't think I'll ever get into the music video in the middle of a story. That just makes zero sense, even though it was gorgeous. I mean, the cinematography of the music was gorgeous. The actors were beautiful. I mean, it was total eye candy, but I'm just like, this is just ridiculous. I can't.
I love it. It's the little kid in me where it's like when you're a kid and you don't know how movies are supposed to work. So you're just like, oh, this is what a movie is. Awesome. Like it.
They just all of a sudden in the middle of this action, they just start singing and dancing. Everybody around them. Okay. Yeah, I guess.
Shutter Island.
That's what Simon.
Oh, Simon
has his picture of Shutter Island.
Oh,
You've seen that?
No, that was Inception.
Oh, that's Inception. Oh, geez.
He's got the suit. He's wearing
the
suit.
Didn't he have a suit in Shutter Island too? Because he was a detective, right?
Maybe, but he's shabbier looking in Shutter Island.
Okay, all right. Shabbier looking. Okay.
I was going to talk about Shutter Island. Like, I think it's one of the best movies of the year. I think almost every Scorsese DiCaprio movie is like a 10 out of 10, except for Wall Street, and that's my personal opinion. But like this was no exception. I did think this movie was so dark though that I think I watched it twice, and I haven't watched it since. And a lot of times I'll see it on Netflix. I'm like, I really should watch that again. It's so good. But I'm like, no. It's just, for really, really dark stuff, I can maybe appreciate and enjoy once, maybe twice. But then I can't really. It's just too, I don't like to go there. But when it's done so well, I appreciate it. I enjoyed it when I saw it. I think it's done really well in so many ways. The twist is really good. I really felt bad for the guy, for DiCaprio's character. The production value and the setting, the feel of the tension and the mystery of it all. I really enjoyed it, and it was just and for that kind of movie, it's about as good as it gets. And I think for that kind of really like a dark mystery, psychological, I don't think you call it horror, but kind of a mysterious psychological thriller. It's just so, and it's worth watching once. Although it is pretty sad. There's some pretty sad moments.
Very. I was gonna say what I really appreciate, because I don't think I realized, like, sometimes you have moments where you're familiar with the director, but you have to really like look at their filmography and you're like, whoa. And what I can say about Scorsese, because for me, I've always relegated him to, like, you know, kind of the gangster, you know, mafia, like, you know, mafioso, like those type of films. And it didn't occur to me that he's really branched out and done so many different kinds of films and genres. Like one of my favorite period piece films is one like high up on my list is The Age of Innocence. That is completely outside, you know, takes place in the Gilded Age in the 1880s, completely outside of his usual style, but it is such a great movie. Same thing with Shutter Island. It's like this psychological, you know, thriller, you know, horror adjacent mystery. And you have that, and then Gangs of New York, which is going to, you know, completely different vibe. So I like the fact that as a director, like, he doesn't just, of course, we know what his bread and butter is, so he's good at that. But the fact that he can branch out and be really good at it, I really appreciate that. And so Shutter Island, I don't think I realized it was him at the time because it's so not his, you know, style. But yeah, Shutter Island was devastating. It was one of those I had to really let sit with me for a minute, because like once the gravity of what's really happening hits you, you think you're getting one film and all of a sudden it's something else. And I don't think I've ever seen, you know, I think Michelle Williams is a really solid actress, but I've never seen her in a role like this. And it was hard for me to look at her for a while after, you know, her character is revealed, because it was not pretty at all.
The twist is, I don't know who hasn't seen it, but like the twist is so good because it makes the movie, it's like two movies at the same time. Like you're watching the first movie and it's awesome, and then you find the twist out and you're like, whoa, and you watch the movie again. That's why you do have to watch this twice. I watched it twice because it's like a whole nother movie the second time, but it works on both levels. It's not like a Tenet movie where you're like, well, once you see it the first time, then the second time will make more sense. It's like it works the first time, but then the next time it's totally different and it works on another way. And yeah, it's masterful. It's really, in the score, there's a really like haunting score piece, a powerful score, and some of that too. I remember hearing that music in another movie or something where I'm like, oh man, it takes me back to that. Yeah, it's so good, so good.
Yeah, I think it's based on a book, right?
I don't know. Have you guys seen it? Have you, the rest of you guys?
I have not seen it. I was never really, I was only mildly interested in it when it made it seem like it was like this detective mystery story. And then I was like, well, I don't know, because, you know, it's Scorsese, it's what's his name, DiCaprio, and at that time I wasn't really super compelled to watch anything just because it was DiCaprio. So I was like, well, let me read what it's about. So I read what it's about. I read about the twist, and I'm like, oh, well, I'm glad I didn't watch it.
Why do you always do this, man?
Because
I would have been pissed if I'd seen it, probably.
I do too. Like I said, that cabin movie where if I know 100% I don't want to see this movie, but
yeah, but you want to know what the story was and how it ends. Yeah,
what this little twist is.
Yeah,
I get it, but it sucks because I feel like, damn, you missed a great one with Shutter Island and one of the other, Departed, or one of the other. Like, you're not giving Scorsese his due.
I saw Departed, and I knew what was going to happen at the end, so I was just waiting for that moment. It was a good movie, but it's not something I would probably return to.
And you were right about it's the
based on a book
was from 2003.
And who wrote it? Do you have the name in front of you?
Yeah, it was Dennis Lehane.
That's one of the reasons why I think I was skeptical about watching it, because didn't he write Mystic, whatever, something?
Oh, let's see.
I thought he wrote something that I had seen a movie of, and I hated the way that story went.
Mystic River?
Yep. So that's, yeah. So that is, I'm glad I mentioned the thing about the book and you told me the name, because I was like, yeah, I think that's why, because I'd seen this other, I did not like the way the story went, did not like the characters and all this stuff that happened. And so I was like, and kind of like with Gillian Flynn, the author of Sharp Objects. Yes. So once I get burned by an author or story that they've told, I get distrustful of the other stuff. And so this is kind of like on the same. That's like the same sort of thing that happened.
What was real quick? What did you dislike about Mystic River? Because I may or may not agree.
I think, you know what, it's been so long since I saw it, but I think it was just the ending. I didn't like how the ending went, and I wasn't super invested in the characters. But I'd have to rewatch it to remind myself. I just remember I hated the ending. I hated the way the story went. I just didn't like it. And then I was like, well, that author's name just seared itself. I disliked it to the point that I remembered the author's name.
All this time later.
Yeah.
The name, the phrase Mystic River is seared in my head because it came out when I was living in Sweden. And the trailers for it, the announcer always went, Mystic River. So I just have Mystic River stuck in my head forever.
That's funny.
But the ending is real messed up, and I didn't see that being the outcome. Especially, I'm not spoiling anything, but especially when it involved a character who had already been through way too much, and it's like, this is the character who ends up having stuff, dealing with this. Like, and then it was just like, oh, guess what? We found the actual person. Oh, wonderful!
Right? Exactly. Oh, I'm sorry, Arturo.
I'll let you do it.
Stand applying her survival instincts to books.
I was gonna bring up The Crazies, which I saw bits of.
Yeah, that was one of the ones I wrote down for you to try to watch, and you never got around to it.
No, but I remember
I did too.
I remember
I think you told me to watch that, Sin. I think you recommended that. I feel like you recommended that to me at some point. I can't remember when, but I feel like you mentioned that to me.
I might have maybe during one of our long ass movie discussions. Because we can go on and on. I swear.
We're good at it.
We are. That was a remake of a movie from the 70s. And and so they play the original often on Shudder. And I feel like this in this case the sequel is superior. Not the sequel, the remake.
Yeah.
I like it.
Rare. So
it's pretty rare, but I guess maybe because that was my first exposure to the story, and I liked Timothy Olyphant. I liked the actors involved in it. I liked the way the story unfolded. But yeah, I enjoyed that film quite a bit.
Then there's Clash of the Titans.
That was meh.
That was an idiotic decision.
Was that the first one? That was the first one?
Yes.
Yeah. Because wasn't that, like they constantly replayed the commercial "Release the Kraken"? Was that?
Oh,
you guys?
I think that happens in the first one, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, Release the Kraken.
It was unique in that I feel like I saw the commercial more than most commercials, and that line in particular, like I'll never forget it. That's how much they played it. Like
Release the Kraken.
Yeah, Release the Kraken. That movie. Like I saw the movie. I don't remember it. But I remember seeing the commercial on that line like every day for a month.
Yeah. So this is one of those that I remember getting dragged endlessly. But I think part of it is because I feel like I didn't realize it was the same film. But there was I want to say like
1981.
Yes.
The one with Harry Hamlin?
Yep, with Harry Hamlin. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that when it come out, and that already kind of had cemented itself. So this just seemed like another CGI, over the top, overblown remake. Now it's one of those things that I realize it's not reinventing the wheel, and it's not like great, by whatever standard or circumstances. But I am a huge Greek mythology fan. So it's like one of those things where it's fun to watch, and I like the journey and seeing certain characters and creatures like come to life. So that's kind of one of those things where I kind of put it aside and have fun with it. But definitely, if you're going to compare the two, and just in and of itself, I can understand why people don't care for it.
Yeah, I was just kind of meh. I never even saw the second one.
I don't understand the reason behind it, because the original wasn't the greatest movie in the world.
Right.
What made it stand out was the sort of peak of that Harryhausen stop motion animation. Right. So they thought, okay, let's remake it, but get rid of all the sort of thing that makes it distinct, I just replaced it with CGI.
Yeah.
Right.
What
Yeah.
is your avatar now, Simon? Is that from
Legends of the Guardians.
Oh, that. Okay.
that
We
movie?
never saw that.
The Owl movie.
Directed by Zack Snyder.
Oh, no.
Seriously.
Yep.
Mhm.
I did not realize that. I have vague memories of seeing that it was out. And you said it's called Legends of the what?
I think it's Legends of the Guardians or Guardians of Gahul
Okay.
Yeah.
or
Right.
something. Yeah.
So this was the one I kept getting confused with Guardians of the Galaxy. For some reason, Guardians of the Galaxy was coming out. And I just remember there was some movie about that had Guardians in it and it was owls. And I thought this was connected to that. And I was like, well, I'm not interested in that.
That's a real hoot.
Ah, ha, ha, ha.
You're getting owled.
I just realized, Finn, were you also thinking of Rise of the Guardians also? Like
That
where
might be it.
Santa Claus
That
and the
also
two-
owls?
Yeah, Santa Claus. Well, no, that one. It's like they have like it's almost
There's
like
like
the style
birds.
is similar, but no, it's like Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, like all these kind of like mythical, I guess, or like folklore figures, like kind of band together against this common enemy, like Jack Frost and
What year did that one come out? Do you know?
2012.
Maybe that one was the one. Yeah, I just remember it had something to do with animals and guardians, and I thought that was Guardians of the Galaxy. I was like, oh, that just looks so no. But then it was like a totally different film.
I agree with
Kick-
Chris. The Book of Eli was a surprise for me, unexpected surprise.
Yes, that reveal. And I accidentally spoiled it for Arturo.
Oh,
Wait,
'Cause
what?
Okay, maybe you don't remember, so forget I said that. But that was also on the list of movies I
Yeah, the Book of-
suggested.
Sorry, I'm just going to say the Book of Eli. It's definitely best to go in blind.
Yeah, no spoilers for
I think I kind of know where this joke is
Don't
going.
read ahead. Read ahead.
I remember I saw it on the big screen. I think maybe I've only seen it once, but I never forgot it. I remember that I enjoyed it. I'm not super crazy about post-apocalyptic type of movies, though.
right here.
So it's not something that I'd probably like to watch again and again just because it's just split like that. Those sorts of films are so depressing and bleak to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
But I mean, Denzel was great. He's great in pretty much everything I've seen him in. I just
Mhm.
remember at the end, wasn't it? I remember my brother Tim and I talking about this scene at the end. Wasn't Mila Kunis in it? She
Yeah.
was the one. Okay. And I remember because I remember noticing this too at the end, you know, when it's showing her and she's like on her own and she's walking down the road or whatever. And I just remember like getting these chills of like, oh, that looks so like she's trying to look and behave so badass and it's kind of corny. And my brother and I said, my brother and I were talking about it, and he said something like, well, did you notice that thing at the end? I was like, yeah, when the girl was acting like she was so badass and it was terrible. Like, yeah, for whatever reason, that stuck in my brain. The twist and the part about the old couple, the creepy old couple, and then that girl trying to be all badass at the end with the shades and the
I mean,
ponytail.
she was better than me because I'm just like, where? Actually, I don't remember what her motivation was, but my thought was like, after all this, I'm gonna stay here. Like this, you know, this is the life. Like this is
Why?
a good
Why?
stuff
What are
here.
you?
I'm not
Yeah.
going back out there. No, no way.
Oh, see, I totally forgot Gary Oldman was in that movie.
Yep. Is he?
Chameleon.
Dang.
That's how good of an actor he is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
I like-
Jeez, what?
I liked Book of Eli. It was a bit dark. I think I just watched it once. I'd probably watch it again. I've forgotten enough. It's been long enough. I do like post-apocalyptic movies. That one-
Really?
that one
Yeah. I
kind
mean,
of
if you.
right on the edge of though too dark because they can get too dark, and that one's kind of like right there on the line of where it's almost too dark, maybe a little too dark, but it's a hard thing to balance. But
Yeah, I'm kind of the same though. I'm not too into apocalyptic movies or whatever. I guess it just depends on what it is.
Yeah.
Like I'm not into cult stuff that much either, like cult movies.
Oh,
Except the only one would, well, story wise, I think the only one would probably be Silent Hill.
No.
That's the exception.
Mm.
There is cults in that one, but in general, I'm not a fan of those. Kick-Ass.
I think I like. Yeah, I do like happy movies. I like apocalyptic movies where it still feels like there's a chance to beat it, where it's not like
To make life go back to normal again.
Maybe not go back to normal, because sometimes it feels too much like. Then it's
okay, Daybreaker. I did see that. That was kind of.
But like, Terminator 2 balances that mood of
okay, yeah,
it feels like the post-apocalypse, but it's not so bleak that like you're like, oh, this is too.
Well, that's because it doesn't take place during
entirely
the time of the apocalypse. You just see it in flashbacks, just like with the first one.
But that's what I love about it, though, is to me it feels like it feels like it has that tone of really danger and edge of the world kind of thing, which is like hard to pull off. I feel like it without being either like it's obviously not and they're gonna save the day, or like it's too far gone and it's too bleak. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it walks the line well.
Yeah,
like westerns basically.
Westerns, like westerns.
There's two types of post-apocalyptic movies. There's the ones where they're just kind of wandering through the desert and nothing happens.
Yeah,
which is the type I don't like. And then there's the type where they're trying to rebuild society, which is it's basically the Wild West.
Yeah, I kind of like.
The Walking Dead's like that.
I was thinking about that too. The Walking Dead. Did you guys? Now I don't remember what year this came out, but The Road. Did you guys ever see The Road? I hated that movie.
With Viggo Mortensen.
Yes.
That one. Okay, that one was the Cormac McCarthy book. That one's way bleaker. Cormac, I've read a couple of his books. That dude is like, he tries to be as bleak as humanly possible.
It was also just like I remember my brother Matt and I making fun of it. We're like, oh, we went down this road, and then we went down another road, and then we went down a long road. It's just like I just did not like that movie at all.
Wasn't it based off of a book? Because that's
what Colin was saying.
Cormac McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't he have a picture of like a dad and a son? They were in.
Yes.
Okay.
Was it too depressing, Sin? Is that why, or was it other reasons?
It was depressing, and I remember I didn't like the end.
Oh, okay.
Just the entire story was just like Colin was saying. It's very dark. It's very bleak.
Too far over.
And you're just like, is there going to be any light at all in this movie? Like as far as like symbolically or just whatever. And then it has, to me, a terrible ending. And I'm just like, well, that was a complete waste of my time. So, yeah.
Well, I was going to say Kick-Ass came out this year.
That's right. You never saw that, Arturo.
No, that was actually one I missed.
That was a good film.
That looks like a nice family-friendly movie.
Oh, sure.
I think every kid can watch it. Our little cousins can watch it.
Yeah. I'd let
everybody will be.
Well, yeah, I could see. Yes, they could actually. It's not like the worst, most awful.
I mean, it's fine. A few words here and there isn't going to hurt anybody. It might hurt my am, but
some violence, whatever. There was a lot of it, but it was good, Arturo. You should watch that at some point. I think you would enjoy it.
Isn't it Jim Carrey in it?
Who?
Jim Carrey.
Yeah. Or did he go to the
second one?
I don't remember.
The second one. I think it was in the second one. Wasn't Nick Cage in the first one?
Mm-hmm.
And wasn't also, I think this was also the first movie that I noticed, what's her face? Chloe
Grace Moretz.
What's her face? Yeah. And
is she the one that didn't like cussing?
I don't know, but she's also the one in Let Me In, Arturo, the remake, the vampire remake.
Yeah, I thought I remember I remember you mentioning this, but I thought she didn't want to.
Oh, because she did cussing in there. She was really young when she made that movie.
but she also didn't like driving either.
She didn't get her license or something until she was. Well, she didn't get a license for a while.
How old is she now? She's probably like in.
I honestly don't know. But wasn't also Aaron Taylor Johnson in this? Wasn't this? Okay.
He was Kick-Ass.
Yes, he was. Yeah, that was the first movie that I noticed him in.
We also got The Losers.
Oh,
we did see that one.
What's that, D?
I say I know Sin likes this one.
I do like that movie. I bought the Blu-ray and DVD of it because I want to listen to the commentary or I want to watch like the special.
Oh, so you like that too? I love that stuff.
I love commentary stuff, and they don't put that in a lot of movies anymore. like on the DVDs or Blu-ray, which is really disappointing. I have so much fun. If it's a movie I really enjoy, or even if it's something I maybe have just maybe a passing interest in, and I will listen to the commentary, and it helps me sometimes to appreciate it even more.
A lot of actors from the MCU are in this one.
Yes. Have you guys seen that?
Which one are you talking about?
The Losers?
No, that's the one I keep. I need to. I haven't gotten around to it. It looks good.
Oh, it's so much fun, Colin. It was like before all these dudes and girl in there hit the MCU and became part of the MCU.
Except for the guy that doesn't need it.
That's what made me remember recently. I was like, oh, I missed that because you guys mentioned before on here.
Yeah, I've talked about it. In fact, when I rewatched it with Arturo for 2010, and I was just like, I'd been meaning to do a review of this movie for the past 2 years practically. And so finally, after I rewatched it, I decided to do a review. It's just so much fun. It's some of the stuff is ridiculously over the top, not as much as Pathan, but it just works. Like the cast just worked so well, and I loved their chemistry. And I don't know, just really liked it. Y'all should watch it sometime.
If they ever did a long delayed sequel after all these years, do you think it would be a good idea, or should they just leave it alone?
I don't know what they could do to improve upon it. You know, it'd have to be something super solid, like what they did with Top Gun Maverick.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Sometimes I feel like a lot of times I feel like sequels shouldn't happen.
Right.
So like they're gonna do a sequel of Megan. I don't know if they can top the fun that was the first movie. So I just don't know.
I think they're probably going to push to make it more. I could be wrong, but I have a feeling they're going to push to make it more, more bloody and more in your face, unless they decide to just have the separate cut for the second one too.
Yeah, I know they've got a rated R cut of this first one, which I'm definitely going to be watching.
Yeah.
They just better not screw it up because.
You mean Megan is not.
Yeah. Megan what?
Megan is not R, but you think they'll release an R-rated cut?
There has been talk that there is definitely an R-rated cut, and so much talk to the point that I'm pretty sure they're going to release an R-rated cut.
That recently, I haven't kept up. Is that something they've been doing more lately? Like,
well, you know that like sometimes there's like a director's cut or extended cut. Sometimes it's because they show more stuff.
Yeah.
So.
The only movie I remember doing that was Deadpool 2, but it was in the other direction.
Yes.
Right. Yep.
I remember when the first Alien vs. Predator did that, and they had like a bloody cut, which I enjoyed a lot more. I hadn't had the first one at the time, but you know, I also was too young to understand why people were upset because of how Predator and Alien, like how they are. Then I was like, oh, that's why people are angry. You know, so I was too young. I was like, oh, this is fine. But when I got older, I was like, okay, the blood really does enhance this. So I think that worked.
Before I forget, Sin, have you seen the commentary track of Total Recall?
No, I have not.
I recommend it.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
I honestly don't even know if I have the DVD of Total Recall. Turo, do we have it?
I thought we did.
Because I know that's not one of my favorite Arnold films.
I know we have Demolition Man.
I like Demolition Man. That one was a fun movie.
That one was fun, and it relates to
it was
Snowflake.
it was very relevant. Okay. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't mind listening to that because I do like
the remake of
the what?
Oh.
The pure audio track is on YouTube.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
I'll drop on Discord.
Thank you.
The remake of Nightmare on Elm Street came out this year. I have not really seen it.
What's that, D?
That it got dragged by everybody.
Yeah, it did. I watched it. I mean, I didn't hate it to the extent that everybody else hated it, but it was just like,
Yeah.
Did you see it, D?
Yeah. It's so funny. I still my first experience with Nightmare on Elm Street was the game from the first or second Nintendo. I think that was the first Nintendo. I still have the first Nintendo, and I just always would see Freddy's face on the video game. And I wasn't like, I was slightly creeped out, but I just thought it was funny, like a video game about Nightmare on Elm Street. Like I just thought it was just the strangest thing. So yeah, so I hadn't had a familiarity with the original, but not hugely. So, and I think this is when we were in the midst of all these unnecessary horror remakes that weren't, with the exception of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, a lot of them were just kind of unnecessary. So with this one, it was just very blah. Like it was just kind of just felt very uninspired. And I think Jackie Earle Haley is a really great actor. But because of the characterization and how they wrote him, and of course, this is Robert Englund we're talking about, so it's hard to step into those shoes.
Right.
And it just kind of took this approach to the character that I think just didn't work. And then I will say the best thing, though, I love what they did at the very, very end with the whole mom, the claw. I thought that was great because even though the first Nightmare on Elm Street is fun, the whole thing where the mom dummy gets snatched through the hole in the door.
Yeah.
That was such a nice family-friendly moment. Every kid can watch that scene to see their mom just.
I forgot what the difference. I forgot what the difference was in this
remake. I think the characters get killed or something. The main characters.
Yeah, the mom is standing at like she's telling. It's almost the first one, but she's standing. She's telling her daughter something, and then we're thinking, oh, okay, all's well that ends well. And then Freddy's like, ha ha ha, and he's in the mirror behind her, and then he goes through her face with the claws, and then
I remember we watched that a while back.
Oh yeah, I have seen it. I just completely forgot. I completely forgot what they did.
Oh, that was such a beautiful scene.
It was an improvement, definitely.
Robin Hood came out this year.
I have not seen that
Russell
movie.
Crowe.
Robin Hood?
Mm-hmm.
Russell Crowe. I thought it was pretty boring.
Yeah, some people said it. They thought it was really boring, and for whatever reason, I just never got around to. Robin Hood's not like one of my super favorites.
No.
Yeah, so I just didn't.
The Kevin Costner movie is pretty good. I'd still watch it.
Now that movie was fun, mostly because of Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman, Morgan Freeman, Slater, like Kevin Costner, I liked it. I like it a lot.
I do remember that I enjoyed it a lot when I saw it, and when I first saw it, and then I've watched it multiple times, and then I have the DVD, and then I think I listed it to sell. But I love the song on there, the Brian Adams song.
I hate that song.
Well, thank you, because I was getting ready to say that my husband and I both love that song so much we had it played at our wedding.
Nice.
That and Bridge Over Troubled Waters.
Cool.
But when I go back and rewatch it, it's kind of cringe now because Kevin Costner is like he like starts off with this terrible British accent, and then eventually he just kind of gives up. He just kind of gives up on it and goes away.
Wow.
Yeah.
But best Robin Hood movie is Men in Tights.
I have not seen that.
And that one too.
Interest in watching that movie.
Barry Ewell's Ellis.
Elvis.
Do you know he's in there?
I've never seen that. I know it gets quoted a lot. I've seen it quoted a lot.
The animated Robin Hood, the cartoon Disney version. It was those three all like I saw as a kid, and they all kind of formed I was gonna say that we're off on a thing which is Russell Crowe. Not Russell Crowe's Robin Hood sucks, but Kevin Costner's Robin Hood. When I saw it when I was 7, I was like, it felt like one of the first grown-up movies I saw where like people got their arms cut off, and like there was real violence. The guy in the cage and stuff. And I remember, so it felt like a real serious movie, and and then watching it as an adult, and I still like it. But I think maybe that, like, I don't notice the cringiness, maybe since I've seen it, because it felt so, because I don't know. So my review for the Russell Crowe Robin Hood, 1 star.
Yeah, the reason I hate that song is because it was #1 for 16 weeks, and I was just done with it.
You were tired. No, I get that because I feel very much the same way about "Take My Breath Away" by Berlin.
Yeah.
in the first Top Gun.
And
also
I feel
the
gosh, I
same.
got so tired.
I feel the same way about the Titanic song.
I knew you were gonna say it.
Right now.
Such a low blow.
Man, if Avatar had a hit song to go with it, probably make another $1 billion.
They need to add the Titanic song in there.
I prefer that. Like, I can tolerate the Spanish language version of it, but I'm so sick of Celine Dion's version of it, and I can only take but so much of her anyway. But yeah, so
Ugh.
So I get it. They did play that song a lot.
Now, I have a question though. How much of this falls upon the radio stations who play these things today?
Yeah, it definitely falls on them. It really, they have all these things on loop.
Yeah.
And it gets annoying, and then you start to feel annoyed at the singer themselves.
Maybe I need to
I'm
go
so
down
tired
there
of hearing
and
your
just
song.
ask them
Stop it.
to play
Be quiet.
one channel of the
I don't wanna
Titanic
hear you
song
anymore.
just for you, Sin. Just for
No.
you.
I'll just put my earplugs in.
No, you probably just won't even have the radio
I
playing.
feel the same way about Christmas music. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Christmas music, to tell you the truth.
Nah.
Christmas time.
I don't know. I'm just not super crazy
I
about it.
thought for ones that have, well, I still need to see Gremlins all the way.
Oh,
I remember seeing
Turo.
bits of that. That's a Christmas.
What the
movie.
heck? Jeez.
Iron Man 3, but also Die Hard.
I forgot John Cleese as Robin Hood. That was a good one.
John
Cleese
Cleese,
classic.
Jeez, I don't remember if I've ever even seen
Did
that
anybody
movie.
see this video game movie adaptation, Prince of Persia? The Sands
Nope.
of Time?
No.
I did. It sucked.
Yeah, it looked like it sucked. That's why I wasn't interested to watch it.
Yep.
Beautiful. Okay, moving on.
Okay.
I think that was the first sort of big accusation of not the first, but the first modern big accusation of whitewashing in movies.
Oh, because it was Jake instead of
Jake Gyllenhaal.
An actual Persian.
Persian guy.
Yeah.
The Prince of Persia. Sorry, Jake Gyllenhaal.
It was. See, I don't know anything about the game either.
Yeah.
Well, he's Persian. He's Persian. It's the Prince of
I mean,
Persia.
they could have still stuck
I
with the
see.
the formula of the character, though.
Yeah, no. I'm glad I didn't watch it.
Are you guys familiar with trash humpers?
What?
Trash Humper?
What?
This came out in 2010.
Colin's intrigued.
It's like,
Yes, yeah. Oh,
thumpers.
Oh my gosh! I just
thumpers.
I didn't realize this podcast is going to take that area.
what?
Okay.
You know, like trash. They're thumping the trash to see what's homeless people. It's a documentary about the unfortunate.
What?
There's just this picture of a guy sitting on a toilet holding a birthday cake.
It is a documentary about the unfortunate.
Let's move on from that, please.
No, what about it, Dee? Was there something you wanted to say about it though?
Oh no, I was scrolling and I was like,
okay, you were just bringing it up. Oh, right.
The title came up and I was like, what is trash humpers?
Humpers. Oh my gosh.
Trash humpers.
So I figured I'd throw that out there.
Has anybody seen Machete?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually like that ridiculous film.
Pretty cool. Pretty
I
cool.
need to see it, but I loved the trailer from Grindhouse.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the trailer, but I just remember watching it and how crazy it was. But I love Danny Trejo anyway.
Oh yeah.
I always have. I just, for whatever reason, I've always liked him. And so this movie was just like so Danny Trejo.
Yeah. You know what put me on to Danny Trejo?
What?
Because we all have our that's the first time. He was the uncle in Spy Kids.
Yes.
Oh, I knew you were going to say Spy Kids. Why did I know you were going to say Spy Kids?
Because Rodriguez are always doing stuff together.
So
everything.
Maybe I saw the first Spy Kids. I don't remember because I just completely erased it from my mind. But I think one of the movies that I first noticed him in or paid attention to him or never forgot him was it was in Blood In, Blood Out.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
And he was in the character he played in there. I think the name of his inmate character in there was Geronimo because he had long hair, looked like an Indian. And that's what I call him a lot of times. It's like, oh, there's Geronimo. I mean, I know exactly it was Geronimo. Yeah. And I found it so fascinating that they filmed that movie in the same jail he'd spent time in.
Really?
in San Quentin.
And
Wow.
yeah,
And
there
I
was
just
heavy-
like, can you imagine what that must have felt like for him?
Oof.
It's just, anyway, I appreciate him. I feel like he's such a really good guy. And
I
I'm
think
glad
he
that
was-
Wait, what's his name again?
Danny Trejo.
I'd rather look like Danny Trejo if I had to go to San Quentin than look like me. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Oh yeah.
I
Doesn't
can
didn't
see
he,
Yeah,
like,
sex
have a lot
offenders
of-
get roughed up a lot.
didn't he,
No.
like,
Poor
have a lot of-
Colin.
Didn't he have like a lot of
Nico.
issues at the time back
He
then?
did.
He had like
He was in
multiple
jail.
wives, or he had
He was a
like
boxer. He boxed in jail. And speaking of Danny Trejo, I watched a movie this past Friday. We had a watch party with Jeff, the guy I work with, and one of our authors and some other people. And it was this low budget Kickstarter funded type movie that was made by a bunch of servicemen. And it had a bunch of different actors in it. And Danny Trejo was one of them. Also, the dude who played, is his name Keith David? Guy who played in Nope. He played the father.
Yeah.
He lasted for like 2 seconds. He was in there. Some MMA guy was in there. William Shatner was in there. Like a whole bunch of sort of, recognizable names. It was the most ridiculous movie. It was about the zombie apocalypse. It was so crazy. I don't ever want to see that again. Ever.
Danny Trejo was in Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies
That's right. He was. Yeah. I've never heard of Undisputed
with Michael
3.
Worker, Michelle Gellar,
Haven't
and
seen
Robert Englund.
Okay. Sorry. That was,
Just looked
that
up
was,
his,
huh?
I just looked up his IMDb. He's got 410 credits.
Who? Danny Trejo?
Mm-hmm.
He does all the things.
Yeah.
He
I
was,
was-
you know what? He was born in 44.
wow, that's
He's on up there.
1944.
75 or something. What?
78.
Damn near 80. Yeah. Wow.
Wow, you never know it. He honestly does not look.
Yeah.
Like that.
Doesn't look a day over 55.
Nope.
You should visit his donut shop next time you're in California.
I don't eat donuts anymore,
Annie's Donuts.
Fair enough.
Uh,
and I don't know where is his donut shop anyway.
Santa Monica Boulevard.
Why?
I don't
Sid?
know. I don't eat bread products.
Oh, see, I didn't know. We never
I'd
seen.
rather
we
eat,
never
like-
discussed this.
Oh, sorry. I thought I'd mentioned before how I eat with a keto approach, so I don't eat
Yeah.
like the typical sort of
You can't or you won't. Can't or won't.
I won't.
Won't. Okay.
I would rather stop
when
by
I
and say,
do
"Hola, ¿cómo
when-
estás?"
when I do eat like a lot of carb heavy stuff, I love carbs, but as I got older just made me feel gross. It was just like
Yeah.
blah. I feel like blah sludge. So I was just like, I'll try this. So
Right.
I like this way of eating more.
Oh,
So-
yeah, see, I didn't know that. I thought it was something more specific or.
Oh no, sorry. I thought I'd mentioned it before in some of my videos,
I
but
know wheat.
I don't talk about it a lot.
Wheat actually bothers me now.
Yeah, Arturo's like
So now I
sensitive
just
to
don't
it.
really eat wheat much anymore. But then again, I don't miss it because wheat's not all great for you.
Wait. So.
What?
Does that mean like you don't eat cake and stuff?
Who,
Nope.
me? I
Cake-
don't.
Oh,
Like if I make a keto friendly cake, yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
like
eat it.
something like that. Or if it
Like
doesn't
with-
have like
with
stuff
almond
in it that would
flour
bother me, yeah,
and
then I can eat that.
like things that aren't sugar, like maybe a sugar alternative, not artificial sugar, but
Oh, yeah.
something like
I-
monk fruit and erythritol or things like that. There's
The-
so many options. I just don't feel deprived. I have a whole bin of like nice chocolate, sweet tasting treats that I eat.
That's awesome.
Has
Good
no
for-
sugar in them. So 'cause
good for
sugar
Asians live
sugar
on
is
carbs.
terrible for y'all. It's
Yeah.
I
terrible
know.
for you.
Yeah,
Like
like
most
it,
Americans, I struggle with my sugar.
the only time I guess you could say eat sugar would probably be like a banana, but in general,
Well,
I don't even
yeah,
consume
natural
that much
sugar.
sugar anymore either.
That's
I go with monk fruit. That's like the best alternative ever.
But Asians eat also a lot of other things that are better for you than a lot of people over here in the West.
Oh yeah,
eat.
I heard that
So-
cheese over like in Europe, like Italy or somewhere, it actually is way healthier than the cheese over here because it's natural.
Interesting.
We need more cheese from over there.
Apparently, there are keto donuts.
Yes, you can
Sure,
make keto
yeah.
donuts. I have made keto donuts, but I'm too lazy to continue to make. So I don't like to bake,
You know.
so I just haven't. I haven't made keto, but I do make a good
Yeah, that
keto
is
ice
true.
cream. I do like yeah, I know. There's a lot of carbs in Italian.
I
food.
love Italian food, but sadly, I have to pass on
I
that.
meant to respond. Sorry to interrupt, but I meant to respond to someone asked if we had seen the movie Rubber. That's about the tire.
Yeah, I saw something about the
I've never
tire.
watched it because the premise just seems so ridiculous to me that I've just never. Is that one that you've mentioned before, D?
Oh, what, Rubber?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it was me.
No. Okay. All right. No.
Wasn't
so
there
I've
one
not seen
movie that came out recently that had to do with a car? A car pregnating a woman.
Oh, yes, that movie. Oh my gosh. No.
I read about it.
No. I think did you see
Matt
that,
wanted
or
me to go see that.
was
I'm
it
like,
you
no.
or was it Struggles that saw that, D?
Well, no, it has to do with both of us because I purposely paid her to review it. And that was the best money spent because her reaction.
She is so funny.
I think she was like low key. I mean, not really, but I think she was a little salty. I made her go through that. She was like,
"You tricked her into seeing it."
Yeah, because I think she was like, I think he was trying to take a shot at me, but that's okay. I'll
I did not know that you had been the one to request that.
Did you like not tell her that she would hate it, or you're like, oh, it's gonna be awesome? I just see the thing is with her, like if you pay, she'll just throw it in the docket.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't know what she knew about it.
Right. You're just like, check it out. Okay, you just paid. You're like, okay, I got you.
Yeah, no, I had to do it. I mean, of course, Struggle.
That's a family-friendly movie. Everybody
has to support her anyway. But I was like, if I'm going to pay, I have to get my money's worth. So I have to like, something to really work with.
Oh my gosh, I need to go rewatch her review now. Now that I know it was you. She is so funny. Her reviews.
What's this movie? Herbie Goes Bananas? The Love Bug?
Have you guys seen that crazy movie? I mean, besides D, have you guys seen that crazy movie?
I'm curious,
I've heard about it,
but not curious enough. No.
I just as soon as I heard what the premise was, I was like, nope.
Were you thinking on seeing it, and then maybe I told you about it?
No, I wasn't.
Like you did. I don't even think you knew what the premise was.
I learned early on what the premise was because I saw videos popping up about it on YouTube.
I thought,
when I saw "girl impregnated by car,"
yeah, wasn't it recently? Because
Mysteries with Car.
It's a recent movie, yes.
Yeah, because I remember Matt telling me about going to, like, he told me about it, and
he probably loved it, didn't he?
I just told him I wasn't gonna see. I don't know. I'm getting my memories mixed up, but I thought we were having it at the theater. I don't know, or no. He was looking it up. I think that's when I found out about it, and I'm like, what the heck is this movie? Like about a car.
Sin, you were so offended. You need to go back and watch your face, Sin, because you were so offended. You suggested that you were interested in seeing it.
Just like how you kept going back when Simon lost it that one time.
Oh gosh, yes. I'm still gonna make that short, I promise.
Question for everyone, including the chat. If you were to be impregnated by a car, what brand of car would you want it to be?
Oh my god.
Okay. All right. If I'm going to venture there, I would say the Knight Rider car. I was in love with that car. I wanted that car.
Oh, we're serious. Okay.
I wanted to have I wanted that car for myself.
Pontiac Trans Am?
It was like a Trans Am Firebird something or other.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was a Camaro, but no, it was a Trans Am.
Probably just like a giant Hummer. Just because it'd be like a free Hummer for me. I'd be like, well, you're mine, so now I get to drive you around. And that would be cool. I just want a big car.
If I could afford a Hummer, I would get a Hummer.
Right. If it's free, I'm just okay. Yeah.
But that's not what he was asking you.
Well, kind of.
Not really.
You don't get the car. You just get impregnated.
He was asking if you could be impregnated by a car, what car would it be? And you're talking about a Hummer because it's free.
Then opposite, like a Bug, like the smallest car.
Why are we even talking about that?
I don't know. Let's stop.
Hey, the A-Team.
Okay.
The A-Team.
That's
I
what
like-
we were gonna say.
We saw that
That
one.
was a fun movie. I like that movie. Yeah, it was good.
With
I
the
watched
famous
it
van.
adaptation. What's
Yeah.
that?
With the famous A-Team van.
Yep.
Yep.
And I thought Liam Neeson did a really good job as like the leader guy. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I think I saw it twice on the big screen, and that
van
might
looks
have
fertile.
been what?
Nothing.
Oh, Simon. God. These comments. Oh my gosh. That reminds me of the quote from Liar Liar. Oh my gosh.
Dee looks thoroughly unimpressed.
Yeah, it's just like let's move on from this
like,
conversation.
Yes.
The
The
Lord-
Karate Kid. The
Oh,
remake.
the Karate Kid. I like that remake version actually.
That's like the only one I've seen.
The Smith kids. That's some nepotism.
That's true, but I thought
Yeah.
he did a job in there, and I actually liked that movie more than the original Karate Kid.
I've never seen the original.
That's sacrilege to say that, but I did.
Are you any further along with Cobra
I
Kai?
can't say anything because I haven't seen it. So, or
I
I
haven't seen
it.
another episode of Cobra Kai, and I meant to finish it by this month.
Not bad.
It's so bad, Colin. I mean, Simon. Sorry. Oh God.
Yeah.
Sorry. D. What'd you say?
Oh no, I was saying technically I haven't seen it. I can't really dispute that because I haven't actually seen the Karate. I've seen it, but I was young, so it kind of doesn't count. I have to see it as an adult. So yeah, but I will say it was surprisingly good, and I was surprised they never did a sequel, or at least tried for one other one. I thought it was fun.
Yeah. Was there even talk of a sequel?
They didn't do a second one with Jackie Chan. And, oh,
No.
well, I liked it just because Jackie Chan's awesome and everything. He
Yeah.
does 5 stars.
I like the story of Jackie Chan's character, and his connection with the kid, and I just felt like he was. I don't know. It just had more emotional draw to me than the one from the 80s.
And I liked what they did with, instead of it being, like Mr. Miyagi being there in America, they actually went overseas. And
Yeah.
did the opposite. I thought that was
Mm-hmm.
Oh
to the
yeah,
wrong
and then the
country,
mom.
as Chris said.
What's that?
To the wrong country, as Chris said.
Oh, because what
it was
was
Kung
he
Fu.
called? Yeah.
Kung Fu's from China, as
Yeah.
is Jackie Chan. Karate's from Japan. So
And where were they? Were they in China in the movie?
They were in China.
They were in China. China or Hong Kong? I don't even remember. It's been a while.
I remember like his mom. Like she's like, so you know how Jackie Chan was literally getting him to throw his shirt on the floor over and over and over because he was disrespectful to his mom. And then at one point she comes by and she sees his coat on the floor. I forgot what his name was, but she said his name is like, pick up your coat.
You remember
Like,
that scene?
Yeah, I remember like she got like pick up your coat. But that was because Jackie Chan was getting him to toss it on the floor over and over.
Or hang it up.
Hang it up or toss it. It was
Yeah,
because
it's been a while since I've seen
I
it.
don't remember if it was because he was trying to get him to
He was
I don't
also
know.
teaching him a move. Just like how Mr. Miyagi did with the wax on, wax off. It's the same thing. It was the same thing.
Patience.
What's that?
Is it patience, or he's teaching him, or just practice, consistency?
something, but it had to do with the fact that he would.
Within that movement, he was also teaching him an actual a move.
Oh, he had a move.
Yeah, it was a move. Like it was like their version of the wax on, wax off.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I liked it. The Wolfman. What did y'all think of the Wolfman?
Didn't see it.
You ever
Say
saw
that
it?
again?
Okay. The Wolfman.
The Wolf.
Wolfman.
The Wolfman.
Yeah, with Benicio del Toro.
Wolf.
What?
The Wolfman.
What am I missing?
You're saying woof.
The Wolfman.
The Wolfman.
All right, kind of like how you say film,
Film.
right? Okay, that's
Film.
my dialect. I'm saying wolf. The Wolfman.
But wait a minute.
How do you say it? How do you say it?
The Wolfman film.
The Wolfman.
What is going on?
Wolfman.
He's making fun of my accent. That's what's going
Your
on.
dialect.
Getting revenge.
But Sin, is that an actual thing? You said film, right?
I said, but that's because Simon says, because over there they say film. They pronounce all the letters in the word film.
Oh,
And we kind of curve our tongue, like we kind of like do our tongue
No,
different.
Sin,
So
we say
basically,
film.
we pronounce L's. We say
Yeah,
film,
you
and
say
you say
film.
woof.
We said,
Yeah.
no, my friends always make
Yeah, so
fun of
like
me.
we do the same thing. I do the same thing when I say wolf as when I say film, pretty much. Well, it's a little different, but the L is kind of silent. We kind of loop our tongue a little bit when we say it. So
I never say wolf right. I always say wolf when I'm playing Fortnite with my friends. I'm always saying the wolf is coming. And it's not your southern accent. I think it's like an American.
I think it's the American dialect. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's exactly the North American dialect. That's how we say wolf. We don't say wolf.
Wolf.
We say wolf.
Sin,
Whoa.
What?
Wolf.
no, do you know? Did you see that?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, his channel. Yeah, I think I
Yeah.
follow him.
Yeah, like he's said that, but I didn't know. I thought it was like I didn't know. So I thought my assumption was that was like his personal speech. I thought it was like a specific thing.
Oh, when he said film?
film, like when he
Film?
said that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
film.
And he,
Yeah.
and he would usually just say movie instead. So I thought it was like a thing specific to him. So
Oh
once
no,
he said-
they say film. I
Oh,
think the first time I heard that, heard it pronounced that way, was maybe on Lisa Love's channel.
Oh,
And
okay.
then later, I think I heard Simon say it, and it's like, oh yeah, that's like okay, that's just the way they say it over there.
Yeah.
I think it's funny. It sounds so different.
I want to say something. This is stupid. I was just thinking this the other day though. But like, if they weren't called movies and then you like called it a movie, like that sounds like what a toddler would call it when it didn't understand. Like because it's a movie. It's like, you know what I'm saying? If that word didn't exist, like they were cinema or films, but a movie, it's a movie. But it's just so accepted. We just call them movies. You don't think twice about it. But like,
Because it's a moving
yeah, it's a moving
picture.
So it's a movie.
Yeah.
It's like
It's
what
a
a toddler
película.
would describe a film, and yet it's just what the world like. It's the most popular way to describe the movies. Let's go to the movies and have a good time.
Yes,
Let's go to
Anthony
the
Hopkins
let's
was
go to
in
the
The Wolfman
films.
as well. Anthony Hopkins, Benicio del Toro, Emily Blunt. I was asking if anybody had seen that, and we got distracted by the way I say wolf.
Oh my God. Where are we going with this? Come on now. Let's go.
Has anybody seen it?
Yes. Oh man.
Did you like it?
Yes.
Oh,
I
boy.
remember liking it. I liked the fact. I remember liking the fact that they kind of took the old school universe. Universal.
Yeah, it felt like that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I kind of like the fact they kind of just took it back and kind of had that vibe. Yes, it's made with modern aesthetics, but I kind of liked the fact that they kind of went back to the bare bones of what made that character. That's the same way I felt about Dracula Untold, but then they ruined everything and we didn't get I don't know if the Dark Universe was necessary, but I would have liked to have seen more of the new, Universal movie monsters. I think that was a cool idea.
They were kind of trying to do that with the Mummy too, right? It was
Well, that's
supposed to be
what
a
killed it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I never saw it on the big screen. I remember it didn't get the greatest ratings, I don't think. And I don't remember why. Like why it was that people hated it, because I watched it. I don't think it's awful. It's very dark.
Yes.
But I didn't think it was terrible. So I enjoyed it. But yeah, that was one I wrote down for you too, Arturo. And you never ha ha.
Werewolf.
The Last Airbender.
Oh no. D has stuff to say about this.
Go on, D. You have the floor. Let's go.
I mean, he dodged a bullet on that one.
Oh, so you remember? So you remember?
I remember the story. you went to go see Splice instead.
Well, that's the thing. It's okay. So real quick, I usually go to the theaters solo. I like going with people if I can, but it's something I enjoy doing, so I can do it by myself any time of any day. And so I don't necessarily have to have people along. So I was there, and my friends just so happened to be there. I think I was probably standing outside trying to figure out what I was going to get, and they just so happened to show up. And they said they were going to see The Last Airbender. And I was just like, oh, okay. I'm still not sure what I'm going to see. They're like, oh, well, you should come see that with us. I was like, my first thought was, I haven't seen the series. I have no attachment to this. I don't think it's necessary. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I was just like, I enjoy hanging out with you guys, but I'm like, maybe this isn't the best time to deviate from my plan. Because I find that whenever I deviate from whatever my first mind is, things don't always go well. So I was like, I'm going to go see Splice. And, they just so happen to be getting out at the same time, like the same time and all that. So I was like, I'll just go see that. Enjoyed Splice a lot. Very creepy, very, sinister and kind of cool, interesting, but also really disturbing. Came out of the theater. I think I was probably not waiting around that long. My friends came out of the theater, and I believe I told you this then, but they looked like you could literally boil an egg on their foreheads. They were
so mad. Yeah. So you from that you learned probably not a good idea to watch it. I've never seen it either.
No, I mean, it's not. I don't think it. And honestly, M. Night Shyamalan, like I said, he's been up and down. He's had his issues. I did a trailer reaction to the trailer for that a long time ago, and I kind of did a little kind of dive into his career. And I said, I think M. Night Shyamalan, it's one thing to kind of have things that people don't love, or you kind of have ups and downs. But I'm like, once you aggravate an entire pre-existing fan base for something as big as Avatar, like it doesn't get worse than that. So
yeah,
it was kind of a wrap for him for a while after that happened.
Wow, yeah, that's true. Yeah, you piss off diehard fans, and it's not always going to go so well.
Yeah, and they are making a live action Netflix one.
Yeah, I have heard. Well, we'll see how well that is.
They're
I might watch
making
that over the animated one.
Huh?
I said I might watch that over the animated one. I've
Well,
never
the
seen the
animated one. I heard is really good.
I've heard it's really good, but I haven't seen it yet.
I couldn't get into it for some reason.
Yeah, I not as into animated films as
I do like animated stuff. It just depends on what it is. See, I've been more into anime than like most of the stuff right now in the industry, just because they at least take they try something different, I guess you could say. Like, how the industry kind of just, it feels almost the same. I mean, don't get me wrong, they do kind of some of the same things, but sometimes they also try new things out. The film industry is kind of just lacking a little bit, except when you get movies like Megan, which is good.
Yeah, I feel like this year started off pretty well. I hope it continues.
Now we just need to see how Cocaine Bear does.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if anything can get worse than your January last year.
Oh, God.
It was February.
You know what? I thought it was January that Moonfall came out, but it was actually February. But that, to me, that marked like the beginning. Right. That was one of the first films I did go see on the big screen last year. Yeah, it was.
Well, then you might as well watch some anime. There are better stuff than that.
Well, there's just so many things I want to see, Arturo.
I'm telling you, like this one kid that worked at my theater, he mentioned how he's more into that than like the stuff that's coming out like in the movies, the theater these days, because they're kind of just the same thing, while the animated side kind of takes different approaches and have more creativity.
I mean, depends, I guess, what you end up watching. I was going to bring up something that I think has a pretty decent, I've never seen it, but I've heard it's good. Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Oh, same.
You haven't seen it either?
Yeah, like heard great things about it, but
I don't know if it's for everybody though.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Really? Okay. I don't know why exactly. I've just never felt interested in. I think the premise seems kind of silly.
Yeah.
So I was just not. But I heard Chris Evans was in it. That's not necessarily enough of a draw for me. I don't really care. It just seems silly. Doesn't he have to like defeat these boyfriends or something of this
Yeah,
girl?
like a
And doesn't he have to
tournament.
do it with a guitar or do music or something? I'm like, this seems kind of dumb. Yeah, I think it is. Sorry, I think that is him, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Mhm.
it.
Michael Cera and Captain Marvel actor. I can't remember her name.
Brie Larson.
Yeah, she's in it too.
Oh, I'm
Sim
glad I never watched it
favorite.
then.
Sim's favorite. Yes.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad.
It's also there's a video game of it too, which I probably would
really?
prefer playing the game. At least with the besides the animated portion, video games is also another creativity that you could just like take risks and stuff and be different. I think it could work more for a game than a movie, but I don't know.
Oh,
What is
date
Southern
night.
Voice about?
It's
It's
all the
about an anime. It's an
Oh,
anime
yeah,
film
what's it?
about a girl that's deaf.
Oh, sounds like a drama then. Like nothing.
It is a drama.
action-y.
It's more like
Okay.
a bullied her when he was young, and then when he got older, it's more like felt guilt over it, trying to redeem himself, stuff like that.
That's a movie then?
It's a movie. I heard it's really good.
Okay.
They actually did use a real like a voice actress that was deaf
Oh, to do the
the voice of the girl that's
interesting. That's cool.
deaf. Predators.
Yeah, I was gonna. That's the one with
Adrian Brody.
Yes, and I remember I made a Facebook post about it after I saw it, and I don't remember the specific words I said, but it was something along the lines of I just like it. Like it didn't matter how buff he got or how in shape he got, he could not convince me as an action star. Just did not work. Just did not work for me. I couldn't take him seriously.
What about the rest of it?
It was okay. I wasn't super impressed with it.
But I have a feeling your estimation, you may not still love it nowadays, but I'm pretty sure your estimation of it has gone up just a little bit considering
After Prey?
No, not even Prey.
Oh.
Before Prey?
Oh, what was it that was that's the one with the dude that played in Logan, right?
I believe so.
And
Speaking of Predators, Colin's back.
I think he played. Poor Colin.
I think you guys need to make like a show about.
Done with
we need to make a show about Simon and
nonsense.
Colin. Let's just make a show about them.
Well, he was the dude who played in. I think he played in Logan. He was the guy with the.
With the arm, he was in it.
Yeah, and also the girl who played was she Psylocke in one of the X-Men?
Oh
Living
yeah,
One?
yeah, that was.
Yeah. I saw it sort of in passing. So, but I know that it got a lot of hate because of how terrible it was. Yeah. Okay.
They literally had a joke. I may have said this before, so my apologies, but they literally had a joke where the guy had Tourette's, and when he saw, I know Olivia's her first name. I can't remember her last name, but Munn. Yes. Her character, it's like he got around her, and it was this scene where they were discussing something serious, and he got around her, and he started saying, "Lick your PUSSY," and he was like, and they were like, "What? Like lick your PUSSY?"
I forgot that part.
That's what you said. Did you say lick your PUSSY? No, I didn't say lick your. And it just kept going. I was like,
"Oh, geez." Yeah.
It was like a really bad like sketch written by like some like middle school
teenagers.
It was just like, no, it was, and it's one of those films. I can sometimes be okay with this, but like when something is trying really hard to be offensive, but it just feels dumb. Like we're being edgy, but with the R-rated in your face, like we're making fun of Tourette's and we're making fun of like it just felt weird. Like some films do that and it can actually be funny. It's a fine line, balance, but this was just like, stop it! Like this isn't working. Cut it off.
Which
Cocaine
movie?
is a hell of a drug.
Which movie? I missed it.
Cocaine? What?
Are we talking about Shane Black's Predator?
Oh yeah, that one.
Out of his head.
Oh, I don't even remember that.
Oh, it's the Predator, Carl.
The with Adrian
Predators, the Predators movie. Were you coming to get her?
The one with
Look
Adrian.
at the way she's laying. Look at the way she's laying in my lap. She's like had her little.
The one with the joke is from the one before Prey, from like 2018, I believe. That was the one
with
That's the Predator remake.
With not Keegan, but Keegan.
Keegan, yeah.
Really, I never saw that. I almost did just because Keegan was in it, but yeah, sounds like I doubt I missed it.
You might have to watch it just to see how bad it is, and depending on the person, you may feel better about it because it's one of those. Because the Predator is another one of those franchises where like you have the first one, and then you have everything else, and it's like you may or may not like what comes after it, but it doesn't get better than the first. So
that writing like that ruins the tone. I don't know how to describe. I know tone is a thing that I respond to. Kind of going back on what we were talking about with like Tenet, where like I don't really understand what's going on, but because of Christopher Nolan and I know it's him, and I think like the movie, the production, the soundtrack, it feels so like well put together that I'm kind of like the tone of it has something to do with it. I have faith that even though I don't understand it, it's like serious stuff's at stake, and I'm able to like get into it even though I don't totally know what's going on. As opposed to something where it's like that Predator movie or so many movies that I haven't even seen, where it's like it's so easy to just be like we're getting hunted by monsters. It should be real simple and cool to do that, but then dialogue is so bad that you're taken out of it, and it's like I'm more into a movie like Tenet, which I don't understand, which is totally confusing because it has the tone. Because the script at least doesn't contain embarrassing shit like teenage writing. Like it might be confusing, but it never makes me feel like, what do you think? I'm like 15? You know what I mean? Like, and so I feel like I give it more of a chance. Movies like that as opposed to crappy movies where some like writing like you're talking about. It's just like I'm done with this movie. Like if this is what you're giving me already, like early or halfway into the movie, like it's not going to end well,
And
I looked up the screenwriters, and they're both pretty decent. So they must have just brought out the worst in each other.
Oh,
one is Shane Black, sort of Lethal Weapon, Last Action Hero, Long Kiss Goodnight, all that kind of stuff. And the other one's a guy called Fred Decker, who wrote stuff like House and House 2 and The Monster Squad.
Oh, yeah, The Monster Squad's a fun movie. And you know what? I did not realize that Shane Black... What were those movies that you said he wrote?
He's doing 15, so I can just go through them really quickly.
He's a good writer.
Lethal Weapon 1 and 2. He was also in The Monster Squad, The Last Boy Scout, did Lethal Weapon 3 as well, Last Action Hero, Long Kiss Goodnight, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Iron Man 3, The Nice Guys.
This is Shane Black you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool because it was... So you would think that since he had been part of the first Predator movie, that he would actually bring something really decent to the table with this. Yeah, that's odd that it turned out as badly as it did.
When you think about it, he brought his character to it.
Yeah, that's right, because his character was like that.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think I heard about that. I was gonna say I haven't seen this one. I listened to some of the books because I really liked them when I was younger. But Ramona and Beezus.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I bought that for you guys, or maybe for Aurelia.
We still have it. I haven't watched it.
I haven't seen it. I thought Aurelia saw it. I thought she saw it. She said it was good.
I've been meaning to watch it just because. Well, I like the books.
You listened to the audiobooks, and the girl who read them did such... I think it was Chalkart Stanning. Is that how you say her name?
Really?
Yeah, I think that was her that did the audiobooks, or the ones that we listened to of Ramona and Beezus. Wow. And she was so good in those.
I remember the one where she was...
Stockhart. I said Chalkart. Listen to me. Stockhart
Stanning.
Chalkart. That was not a dialect issue. That was just me. I'm so terrible with names sometimes. It's like kind of like a running theme in my videos.
The Spoonerism.
What?
It's called a Spoonerism when you swap the first letters of two words.
I do that a lot.
Nobody's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, do that a lot. Anyway, she was really. I'm pretty sure that was her. She was really, really
I
good.
remember
She was so funny.
I remember like one of the books when she's like squirting toothpaste. She's like squirting toothpaste and her mom comes in. And I remember the way she like the voice actor is like, the devil made me do it.
She was good. You have to hear it. It can't be easily replicated. I have not seen Black Swan.
I was going to mention, I figured you hadn't because of Portman's right on the cover. I was going to ask.
Hey, she loves her.
Simon,
do you guys, what do you think of Black Swan? Did you see it?
Yeah, I'm not anti-Semitic, so I totally watched it. Yeah, I really liked it. It was really good.
Simon.
I liked it a lot.
Probably my favorite movie that year.
Probably favorite.
Really?
Movie.
Are you serious? That's gonna be like in your top 3 then.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I really liked it. I think I actually hyped it up in my head to like it more, but I still liked it. I think it's in the same vein for me as Shutter Island. As it's not as dark or devastating as that movie, but it is kind of a heavy psychological dark movie. But so it's not something I would watch. I think I saw it twice again, and I don't know if I'd watch it again. Maybe at this point I would, because man, I think Natalie is beautiful. I think Mila's pretty good looking, and it's a really interesting and different movie. But yeah, it's also pretty dark, and I guess Vincent Cassel's good in it too. He's a good actor.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it could have been more. I think I'll just say Aronofsky at this point. I think I'm not a big fan of Aronofsky. I feel like he's someone who always has potential and makes above average films, but they never quite nail it. Like for me, they're never quite like perfect. Although some have been close. I think at this point I'm like, I don't think it's totally my style. I think he's a little too cerebral and artistic with his films. But it's still, I think he's above average, and Black Swan was one of those as well. Plus, I think Natalie Portman's beautiful. It's fun to watch her.
Second time you said that.
Yeah, I think so.
We get it now. We get
You
it.
should watch Black Swan. Sin. It's really good.
No, I'm not interested at all.
No, I think you might like
And
Perfect
plus I
Perfect
know
Blue better.
I know the premise and I know what happens. I have zero.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes,
I watched Perfect Blue. It's kind of like
I read up to see what all the hype was about. I also was kind of annoyed that Natalie got so much praise for all this dancing that she did, and it wasn't even really her doing a lot of that. And I don't think she openly acknowledged that it wasn't her doing all of that. It was some other girl. Because there's no way in the world that she could have done some of the things that she was doing, like, ballet dancers that have to train for years. And
how do you know what she was doing if you didn't see it?
Because I read about the actor, the dancer who did it, and how they put her face on her, and I read about stuff like that.
Didn't she put her on blast?
The dancer, I think because there was like articles written about it.
Yeah, I feel like she had aired her out at one point, which was interesting. But
I think that kind of got glossed over a lot, though. I don't think that was. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. What were you saying?
No, you're fine. I was going to say no. Black Swan was one of those. It's much like Mulholland Drive as far as it being a huge WTF. What was that?
Yeah.
At the end. And then I came back, but it was kind of but it's still stuck in my head because like there's a whole lot of imagery and a whole lot of stuff going on here that I'm kind of trying to make sense of. And then when I came back to it, it was like, oh, I'm kind of peeling back some layers here. And so for me, what works about it, because once you get past some of the imagery, because that film, it makes me like literally scared of hangnails. I've never watched someone peel back.
Yeah.
That was not. It was hard
Sounds
to get.
Painful.
Yeah, it was hard to get that out my brain for the longest.
Angelina Jolie had a movie, Salt.
But I think that.
We'll get to
but why I appreciated it was that I liked the theme of perfection. And what that does to a person who lives, because that there is no such thing, and people who aspire to that, and her getting so lost in this role, and between this experience with her mother, her experience in this dance, this ballet troupe, and just kind of the understanding, kind of the deeper psychological aspects of that, I actually really appreciated the experience of it. And of course, I love, I think ballet and opera and the arts and all that is really cool. So I just kind of like the perspective of behind the curtain. And I did think Natalie Portman was good. I don't think Mila Kunis gets as enough credit because she was actually really entertaining as the black the kind of the darker aspect to Natalie Portman's White Swan, and then what happens as the story progresses. So I actually really enjoyed it a lot. Not easy to watch. I can't just pick up and watch it every weekend. But yeah, just one of those that I think helped me develop my appreciation of films that were a little bit more obscure and had things to say that I had to kind of dig for and not just kind of see it all at once.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, it's a good one. I think it's worth seeing, but I don't think we're going to convince Sin.
No, you definitely won't. Come on, Levi.
I want
to respond to the question that Natalie Portman used to be number one, but Keira Knightley left her in the dust. Really, who? But no, really, she's still awesome and beautiful, but Keira Knightley is even better.
So has anybody seen Salt?
Yep.
Angelina Jolie.
That was one of the ones I wrote down for you to maybe watch.
And I never got around to it.
No, you didn't.
Wah, wah, wah.
It was okay. I liked it. It's not like my super favorite film, but I enjoyed it.
I'll say this. I really enjoyed Saw. Still don't know why they left us with that cliffhanger, but I guess I'll just have to deal with it.
Were they intending to do?
Yeah, that's what I recall. That's what I recall happening, and I don't know what got in the way of that. So it's kind of odd. But what's interesting is that there are three cuts of the movie. So when I got the Blu-ray, I saw, like some of I saw the one with the alternate ending, and then I saw where they changed a certain scene. I could see, so I guess if you go with the alternate ending, then it kind of ends the movie, and you can kind of leave it there. It works, but I think so I think it kind of depends on how you feel, because the sucky part is that it's not continuing, so it's hard to get around that part.
Yeah.
The scene where the main character, where I guess Evelyn or Salt, she is being brought, she's being brought into the fold. She's a part of this group, and she turns the corner, and this whole time she's been waiting. We're finally seeing her husband again, and you hear a shot, and you realize what's just happened, and it happens so fast that she doesn't it's hard for her to kind of not react, so she has to just deal with that situation. But the cut on the Blu-ray is way worse. She walks into the room, and they discuss something with her, and they have we have something to show you, and she looks, and so they bring her over to this pit, and she looks down, and it's him with his I think his mouth is bound or something like that, and he's looking up towards her. And so it's kind of the same thing where they're like, okay, well, if you really are who you say you are, then you'll be fine with what's about to happen. And so she's staring down at him, and they slowly, very slowly fill up the entire pit with water. So she's staring into his eyes as he drowns.
Oh, wow.
And to me, I wish they had kept that one, because I understand the shot and kind of the reacting, but literally she's having to stare into this man.
Oh, that's so much more psychologically awful.
Yes, because you're thinking he probably is just assuming, oh, you've been with them this whole time, and it's
and that's his last memory, and
and then her last she can't do anything, because if she even moves slightly, it's over for her. It was crazy. So I kind of wish they had used that, but Salt is interesting. I think it's well made. At the least. We'll never get over that. What is it? That handcuff kill.
Oh yeah, over the railing.
That was brutal. Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy for sure.
There's a sequel to a 2001 movie, Cats and Dogs.
Oh, Cats and Dogs 2.
The Revenge of Kitty
Galore. Kitty Galore.
I forgot. What's funny is I remember liking the. Granted, I was very young, but I remember we had this summer program. Kind of, it wasn't. It's like daycare, but it was like we actually ventured out and did stuff. It wasn't like kind of like stereotypical daycare. But they took us to see that. And I remember it just kind of being a fun time. I don't know if I would still think that, but I thought it was funny enough. But then they tried to come back, and I remember like nobody from the original is in this, and I wasn't into it. But but I thought the original premise was fun.
I quote the evil cat from the first one. Stand still. I need to crush you.
I need to crush you. Yeah. It was a fun movie. That one.
I'm seeing other like 22 movies that I have not heard of.
The Expendables was the start of obviously sort of the return of the 80s action stars. I don't I want to say I think I've seen the Expendables, but I don't remember much about it. I know I saw at least one of them, the one that Arnold was in. I know he was in at least one of them, like all the way through, like he was consistently in it. Because I think they did the first one. Maybe was he still governor, or something?
Yeah, but
so he couldn't have a lot of participation in that one.
Yeah,
but
I remember showing people. I used to go around, back in college, I would occasionally show people new trailers or stuff that was coming out. Everything's so accessible now. It was totally different then. I would walk around with my laptop and just show people. But I would show them the Expendables 2 trailer, and then like people were I don't even know if some of them had seen the first one, but when they realized how many different people were in it, everyone was like, "Oh, they're in it, and they're in it, and them too." And at the end, when they show Arnold Schwarzenegger firing some bazooka, everyone's like, "What?" Like, it was always the same reaction. I always thought that was cool. Everyone has like a fond memory of Arnold Schwarzenegger, so that's what they were most hyped for.
That's funny. That's funny.
Oh, Resident Evil Afterlife, the movie, 3D.
Was that
fourth one?
Was that the third one?
No, that was like
that's the fourth one.
The fourth one.
Oh,
I remember you watching it with our cousin.
Teresa. With Teresa. Yeah, I don't remember much about
I remember this, like, they were in some room. I remember, like, the main girl's, like, running around and zombies are swarming her. And they're in this one room, and I think it's the female cop, what's it, Jill Valentine. Yeah. This guy, he's like in a suit, and then his whole body gets, like, slit in half because of this creature with like this big gigantic, like I don't know what you would call it, one of the like an axe. I remember you guys just sitting downstairs like watching it. I remember that, like, that whole scene playing out, and I remember you didn't like it.
Yeah, I remember I like the first two Resident Evils.
Yeah.
The first one is, to me, obviously the superior one, but after that they just kind of nah.
Well, play the games. They're better. And the fourth one, the fourth remake is coming out.
I'm not interested.
I'm looking forward to
those
that.
Games.
That's like the only Resident Evil game that I've played all the way.
Sin, do you remember the scene with the lasers?
Are you talking about in the first one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Yep. That was really gnarly, but it was well done. Which one? Which one was in the Expendables? Which brother? Was it Luke?
Oh, I think it was Chris.
Chris was in the Expendables? The first Expendables? Really?
Yeah, I thought it was his brother.
Or was it Liam or Luke? Okay.
Luke's the cool one. He's in Westworld. Chris is pretty cool. I'm not sure.
I think I've only seen Luke in one thing. It was a movie about like an alien thing.
What was that?
Oh gosh.
Okay, I lied. It's Liam. Never mind.
Okay, it's Liam. I don't remember.
Like Battle for Los Angeles or something?
No, I don't remember the name. I think what happened is I think I watched I did a reaction to the trailer, and I believe like the director or somebody involved in the movie made a comment asking like if I would like share my thoughts if I watched the movie. So I made a point to watch the movie and did a review for it, but I couldn't tell you now what the name of it was.
Independence Day Resurgence?
No. No, it was like a low budget type of movie, and it was okay. That the premise was interesting, and it did hold my attention, but it wasn't like. But anyway, that was the first time I noticed him. So you said he was in Westworld, Colin?
Luke, yeah, he's
The
really
first season.
Characters. He's in all the seasons.
Okay, so I had seen the first season of Westworld, but don't remember him at all. So like he just went
He's
right
a
over.
supporting role. He's like the security boss.
Okay.
I love
then
Knowing.
That was 2010. Was that was with
2009?
Oh,
that was the Liam Hemsworth in that.
Wait.
I'm trying to think of the sci-fi movie.
Wait.
I was gonna bring up.
I was thinking of the Nicolas Cage movie.
That's Knowing.
Oh, so Hemsworth was in that too. I wasn't crazy about Knowing.
I heard it was bad.
Yeah, I didn't think it was all that good. It was kind of disappointing.
And the ending was quite bananas from what I heard.
Yeah, I don't remember specifics. I just remember I didn't care too much for it.
So I also just saw this within several minutes after starting this, but the town.
Yeah, we talked about
a bit about that one.
Winter's Bone.
Oh, that's the one with Jennifer Lawrence in it. I've never seen that all the way through.
Another favorite of sins.
It's a good movie, but it's
I used to like her. I used to like her. She's one of the ones that I liked, and now I was like, oh, please just.
What was the turning point?
Oh, what was the turning point? I need to think about it because I don't remember exactly. I just remember that now it's like, please be quiet, and I don't want to see you anymore. Honestly, don't. I need to think about that, D. I'll mull it over.
Then you also didn't like Buried with Ryan Reynolds.
Is pretty good. Do you guys see it? I mean, it's slow and it's serious, but it takes place in rural Missouri, which is kind of where I live.
Okay, Missouri.
It's it's like, that's what it's like. I mean, it's not like I live around those people, but it doesn't strike me as unbelievable. It strikes me as very down to earth and believable.
I never finished it. Isn't it about she's looking for her father or something?
Something like that, and then she's taking care of a kid, and she's kind of on her own, and life's hard. I don't know.
Okay.
I watched it once, and it was like, it's good, it's real.
Doesn't she have some siblings?
Maybe it was her sibling
she's taken care of.
Yeah, like a little, younger sibling.
Yeah, it's watching that movie. You can understand why it was a launch pad for her career. It's
right.
I remember that's when I first noticed her because you were hearing about it a lot and you were seeing, pictures of the poster and everything. So even though I didn't see it, I knew who she was by the time I saw something with her in it.
Let Me In.
Okay.
Yes.
Remake.
I thought that was a pretty decent remake. A lot of people kind of bash on it.
Really?
Yeah,
Why?
they feel like I guess because they in their minds the original is superior, and I do like the original, but I like the remake maybe a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I like them both.
Yeah,
I thought they're both really good.
Yeah, I was surprised by because I can't remember if I told you, but Let the Right One In. That was like one of my earliest. It was like right as Netflix became the streaming platform, and then the layout looked totally different. But I just I was scrolling through and saw this film pop up, and then watched it, and it was very, very shocking and very surprising. It's just like you don't usually granted, I've seen plenty of vampire films, but something about the perspective of it and the tone of it and even just the environment it's set in, like we're like in, is it Sweden, I believe?
Oh, was that Sweden? Okay. I couldn't remember if it was Sweden or Norway.
Yeah. I was thinking it was Sweden, but yeah, it's just like, it's snow everywhere. It's cold. It's not your typical environment. And then this kind of friendship relationship that forms, and then just kind of how it approaches that whole dynamic. And even and to me, one of the more interesting parts of that is what happens. And I kind of remember how they do it in Let Me In, but it's not quite the same. but how they handle what happens to the neighbor when she gets attacked, and then she wakes up and she realizes her skin is burning every time
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so even like stuff like that, it's like how someone inadvertently gets drawn into that, and then and the whole thing with the cats, and she gets mauled by all the cats. Yeah. Anyway, but the point was, I think it does a great job of, if someone just cannot do foreign horror or just cannot do subtitles or whatever, I think it captures a lot of what makes the first one great, without feeling like it's dumbing it down or watering it down. I also love some of the shots. Like, I don't know if you remember what happens when her father tries to escape, and then it's that whole shot of the car flipping backwards down into the ditch. I watched the special features as far as what they had to do to make that, and that's cool.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I have vague memories of what happened with her father, and I remember there was a vehicle and like an accident or something, but I don't remember much. It's been a while since. So I saw the original, then I saw the remake, and I've seen them only once a piece, I think.
Right.
And I remember liking them.
I'm sorry, is that Chibi?
TV?
Chibi, or someone's got like.
Oh, you're hearing? Okay, is that Arturo? Is that Aurelia laughing?
Oh, he's doing something.
Okay,
it might be my daughter.
No. I thought it might be a person laughing or like a dog going.
It's my dog. It's my dog. It's Aurelia laughing, and she's got Tifa in her. Tifa's not in there. If Tifa was where Arturo was, she would be screaming at him because she does not like Arturo. Chibi is over here mauling the office chair. Yeah, Chibi's over here mauling the office chair. She just like scratching it. Yeah, now she's curled up. No, that was Aurelia you were hearing. She can be really loud when she laughs.
Nice.
Has anybody seen Troll Hunter?
I think I did. I did watch that on Netflix and enjoyed it. Yeah.
That was a foreign language film too, right?
Foreign language monster movie. Yeah.
Okay. And I've seen parts of it, but I haven't seen the whole thing.
I don't know if that new Troll movie that just came out was a remake of Troll Hunter or just very similar, but I started watching that Troll movie,
Heard it was terrible.
And yeah, I couldn't watch it more than like 10, 15 minutes, but I was like, okay, I'm done. Like, it was not good. But the original, this Troll Hunter movie, not that it's like a great movie, but it, it kept me the whole time. I didn't give up on it. So that's almost, if I can get through a movie, it's a good job. Like I give up on half or more of the movies I check out that I've never heard of on Netflix. And Troll Hunter is pretty good. It's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's giant, big old trolls. Yep. And it's, these big old trolls, and they go, and so it's scary, and the special effects, it's almost cheesy. They're good enough that it's not cheesy. And yeah, it was fun. Didn't think they make trolls scary. Yeah, it was a little tension for me. Not like it wasn't like horror. I wouldn't say it was horror, but it was a good monster. I thought it was scarier than it was goofy, personally. I thought it was like really scary. But yeah, it's pretty good.
I need to return
to that. I
like
monster movies a lot.
I have so many things on the list I was going to bring up. Okay,
one I was going to bring up.
Okay, go ahead. What was it?
The Social Network.
Oh, I saw that in passing.
Apparently, David Fincher directed that. Same guy that made the Zodiac.
He's all right. He's had a few good ones, I'm sorry, but no, I really liked. I think this was my favorite Oscars. The Social Network reminded me. The Oscars for this year or whatever came, I guess 2011 Oscars for the 2010 year was my favorite because Natalie Portman won Best Actress. Waiting a while for that to happen. And then even cooler than that, like I grew up loving Nine Inch Nails and Trent Reznor as, an edgy industrial rock band. And so to see him win the Oscar for Best Score was pretty cool. It was like, yeah, like I told you this guy was good. This wasn't just noise. Like, it was vindicating in a way that so many of those 90s acts, you know, are gone or weren't that great. But Trent Reznor, I think I've always really enjoyed Trent Reznor, and I really like seeing that he's scoring a lot of movies now. And he won the best score for The Social Network, which is why I went on.
I did. Yeah. Well, I would have never known that he did that.
Yep.
127 hours.
No, I ain't watching that.
Yeah. Okay, I've seen that probably twice. That was
Painful.
horrific. That was horrific.
And it's James Franco. See, I never liked James Franco, and see, I'm always feel like I'm right when this stuff comes out about people. Yeah. And so,
Yeah.
I mean, that was a bit messed up.
Rick and Morty.
No,
very
he's
messed up.
talking about the
I never
the actor
watched
himself.
Rick and Morty. My friends were like, I watch Rick and Morty, dude.
I-
Yeah, I know what he's talking about.
I
Yeah,
tried
I
a
don't watch
couple times. I was like, this shit's bad. It's just juvenile, and I love Family Guy. And now it all comes out. Fucking creep, dude. So I think I have good instinct on who's creepy. And
So
it's not me.
So as far as 127 hours, I know, like, I was familiar with the story before the film came out,
Mhm.
and I feel like it's one of those I probably need to watch at some point. But knowing the reality of the story and knowing that's going to play out on screen, it was a hard sell for me. And I just
Yeah.
remember reading a review, and at some point during the review, as soon as I saw the words, "When you hear the bone snap," I was like,
Nope.
absolutely not.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
no
that's
way.
right, D. It's the scene.
I might pass
when-
out if I watched it.
What's that?
I might pass out. I
Yeah,
faint
it's
usually.
pretty.
I fainted in Doctor Strange.
What?
When he gets in the car accident and his hands break, and then he's in the hospital bed with the
That
hand
made you
things,
really?
I got lightheaded and had to leave the theater.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
I'm
Okay.
a wuss. I'm a
That's-
wuss.
What's in his hands? Is it the?
It's like the
I guess
steel
what
stuff that keeps it in place.
rods or whatever or
Yeah,
something
steel
that they
rods
put in
and
his
stuff.
hands.
Yeah, ooh, that was a rough.
Then there's a script. A serial killer who faints at the sight of blood.
That would be.
It's a complex backstory. How did this come to be?
No, we have not talked
I
about
was gonna
Tron.
bring up. I was waiting.
I
to
was
bring
gonna
up
mention
Tron.
it.
Yeah,
Actually,
we have. I have not even seen that one.
No, neither have I.
I want to say I was really hyped for Tron. Really, really, really hyped for Tron. Daft Punk did like the soundtrack. I was jamming that the night I went to see it. I remembered like getting high, listening to the Daft Punk soundtrack. I was so excited. And I will say that the first 45 minutes of Tron Legacy is a 5-star sci-fi movie. Like you're on the edge of your seat the whole time. Great special effects. It's really kind of mysterious and cool. Great action. It's so good. It's so good. I was so happy. And then the last hour pretty much sucks. It's like somehow
Oh, really?
got taken over by it got super bland. To me, it just everything cool about the first 45 minutes just was not to be seen the rest of the movie. And so it's almost like it's a weird one where I could watch the first 45 of that movie and just quit watching it many, many times over. But the rest of the movie, I saw it once and I never want to watch it again.
Oh
Like,
wow.
It is a really weird how good and bad to me personally. That's what I saw. I don't know what were your impressions? Did you see it?
Oh, is he frozen?
Oh, sorry. You said
Oh.
I see Tron Legacy.
Yeah. Thought you were
What were
frozen.
your impressions?
I'm
He's an
sorry.
ambush predator.
Oh my god.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, I heard you say it, but it just I zoned out. No, see, the thing is, I don't know how much of this is contingent on your appreciation of the original film and you know, kind of the franchise, because I had never seen the original Tron. I knew what Tron was, and I knew, like, as far as, you know, Disney World and, you know, the kind of the rides or the marketing and the merchandising, I knew that, but I didn't know much else. And I want to say they featured that in one of the Kingdom Hearts games. So that was all I really knew about it. My my understanding of it was limited. I had fun with it, but it was kind of a hollow experience because I felt like I was.
Yeah, if you want to go by the Fortnite lore, sure.
Arturelia.
Okay.
Really loud.
Well, yeah, she can hear you. You're speaking really loud.
Or you
You're
could
speaking
mute
really
whenever
loud.
she-
That everybody
whenever she
on the
comes
internet can
through.
hear you.
That's cool.
Yeah, you bet it is.
Yeah, so I think it's enjoyable, but I think it's one of
No,
those
I'm
that's
not.
hollow because it's the visuals are spectacular. You know, the score is spectacular, but a lot of the substance underneath doesn't work as much. And after finally seeing the original Tron, I kind of understand more of the issues now, and I appreciate both in different ways. And I like it more than I dislike it, but it was kind of a mixed bag because I was like, I like this, but what's missing here? So yeah, but more overall, I still enjoy it. I could probably watch it. I might actually rewatch it soon and see how I feel about it now.
I've never seen that one. I've only seen the original Tron once.
I never saw the original Tron. Still haven't. I will
remember
say too. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go
Just
ahead.
that this was a lot of fun to see in 3D as well.
Oh
yeah. Not a lot of movies are really even worth the 3D, but this was a lot of fun in 3D. And again, I think maybe just like I didn't know where it was going for a while, and I was just hooked on this. It was fast, good music, awesome visuals, and until like the movie until it slows down and starts to get into the story, then you realize there's nothing there. But oh man, it's so good for a while until you realize that there's really the story is nothing. But when it seems like there's a story and it's mysterious, it's awesome. Yeah, I would watch it in 3D. Yeah, a lot. I would watch it again and again, and then just leave halfway through. It's a weird one.
So speaking, this is sort of I'm going to kind of transition over from because of the conversation where they're talking about the actress who played in Tron Legacy, and Simon was mentioning that Olivia Wilde was in that, but also she was in a movie that I introduced Arturo to for 2010, which I really love this movie. It's called The Next 3 Days.
Oh yeah.
Never saw that.
Oh, I wish I'd seen that on the big screen just because I love the movie so much. It's called The Next 3 Days, and it has Russell Crowe in it. And gosh, I can't remember the girl who plays his wife. She's the chick who directed the latest Charlie's Angels movie, and she says some really stupid movies. She said some really stupid things. Huh? What's that?
Elizabeth Banks.
Elizabeth Banks. Yes.
I did see that. Wait, is she go to prison and he has to?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a story. That was good, wasn't it? That's so much fun.
Yeah.
Really, really good. I mean, I felt so sorry for Russell Crowe. He was just sort of out of his element in the stuff that he was doing to try to break his wife out of prison. And it was just
because he was like not an action guy. He was like
no, he wasn't. He was just like this teacher, and he believed in his wife's innocence 100%. And so it's basically the story of showing how she ended up in jail and his plans to break her out. And it was really, really good.
Way better.
I highly recommend that movie, y'all.
Way better than the movie.
I was just looking at Olivia Wilde's IMDb, and in 2010 she starred in Weird, the Weird Al Yankovic story.
I mean, 2022 or 2020?
2010.
What? There's a.
It's a 3-minute short, and it stars Aaron Paul as Weird Al.
Interesting.
Oh, okay.
Aaron
never heard of that.
Olivia Wilde, Mary Steenenberg, Gary Cole, Patton Oswalt.
That's a short. You said it's a 3-minute film.
3-minute film. Yeah.
Back for 3 minutes.
Oh,
it wasn't Weird. What the new one was called? What's that new one called?
Same thing.
Yeah, Weird. Right. Okay. That's what. Okay, fighting. Thank you, Dulcimer. That's been going on my head, and I didn't bring it up because I assumed.
Oh, I've not heard of this. What is this?
It's actually it's a South Park episode, and it's
okay.
It's probably it's top 3 favorite South Park episodes because it's just a show that Russell Crowe does where him and his tugboat go around the world and get into fights, and it's Russell Crowe fighting around the world, and it's one of the greatest South Parks. And thank you, Dole Summers. I agree. It's probably Russell Crowe's greatest work as well.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Hot Tub Time Machine.
Sin,
Oh,
have you seen
haven't
The
seen that.
Tourist?
I have seen
Pretty
the
good
tourist.
comedy, not the best comedy of the year, but decent, better than I thought it'd be. I
Right.
like Robinson a lot.
Hold that thought.
Pretty good.
Yes, I have seen the tourist. It was one of the ones I wrote down for Arturo to maybe check out,
Mhm.
and I liked it, but it felt kind of like it lacked heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it's one of those where because I had heard that it was, and maybe that this always happens. It's like if I hear something, either if I hear something negative or kind of the journalist consensus is that this is uninspired or bland or whatever. My expectations are obviously lower.
Bland is a good word. It felt
Right.
bland.
Yeah, and I agree that it's very generic, but it's kind of one of those where like there are certain, kind of what you said about bad films. This isn't a bad film. There are some films that are maybe more generic or kind of underwhelming, but I enjoy them because like of the aesthetics and the style of it. So I'm like, just the fact that we're watching Angelina Jolie and Johnny Depp, it's kind of like a spy kind of, hidden, identity. Like I like that kind of stuff. And then it's in Italy, I get to just kind of sit and watch the locations. Everyone looks good, so it's kind of one of those where I enjoy it. In spite of, but I do know that it's a very kind of like, okay, we've seen these before, so it kind of works in spite of that. But yeah, it's not like anything spectacular.
Oh, there was.
I like listening to Angelina's accent.
Oh yeah,
her dialect in there.
Yeah.
So we have sequels: Paranormal Activity 2 and Saw 3D.
Oh my gosh.
Awful.
Nope.
Saw 3D was abominably bad, and I understand that some folks aren't into the series in general, and it kind of goes up and down depending. Besides the first film, kind of goes up and down depending on what you appreciate about what each film had to bring with the traps and the story and all that. But even with that, I just felt like, even with my understanding and enjoyment kind of some of the films, I don't know who was on board with that last film, but they clearly did not give a single what about what they were putting out. Because I was like, who put this together, and why is the tone of this and the whole vibe of this so horribly off? It was bad, and it's like, it's not like you're doing anything different than the other films. So why does this genuinely feel like a bad movie? And it was. It's like, this is the last. You're wrapping this up. It just. I remember as soon as it started, maybe like 15 minutes in, I'm like, oh boy, this is what we're doing.
Wait, are you talking about Spiral?
No, Saw 3D, the last one.
Oh, but that wasn't supposed to be the last one, was it?
Like like as far as closing out that original.
Oh, okay. Because when you were talking about the last one, then my brain jumped to Spiral, and I was like,
no.
Okay, sorry. All right.
No, the last one, the original technical Jigsaw story that they started.
Okay, like the trilogy. All right.
Yeah, it was so bad.
I never saw past the first one. I may have seen parts of Saw 2, but I quickly lost interest in that series.
I feel like the first does its job, and you get the point. Anything else is just simply because you want to see kills.
Night and Day. What did y'all think about that one?
I actually like that one. I almost brought that one up. I saw it once, and it's been a while, but
yeah, I think I only saw it once too. I wrote it down just in case Arturo wanted to see it. I liked it okay, but it also felt like kind of like
it was one that I wasn't expecting much, and it was better than
than you expected.
I like that it was very lighthearted and had a lot of comedy, and that I feel like Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz played it for laughs more than I expected. Yeah,
they did.
It also had at the same time some good action, and it wasn't trying to be serious. It was just light and fun. Like of all the recent movies I've seen, Bullet Train was kind of the similar tone of maybe not right on.
Oh, I got you.
And too long, but kind of just action comedy where like the main character you like because he's like, I don't know, funny. It's fun. Comedy action more than action comedy maybe, but still had good action, and I liked it.
I feel like I should revisit it.
Yeah,
I feel like I would too. If it was on, I would watch it.
Anybody seen Due Date?
Sorry, Dee was getting ready to say something, Arthur.
Oh no, I was gonna say, I feel like I probably would have liked it a little bit more had I seen it then, because I remember from the trailer it looked like really entertaining and funny. And it's not like it's not, but I think it's one of those, because I've seen other films like it that I've really, really enjoyed. Once I circled back to it after the fact, like some years after the fact, and watched it, it was fun, but it didn't quite click the way I thought it would. It's just kind of like you see different levels of that kind of film. And I think at that point I had seen a couple that were like really, really fun. So it just seemed kind of like, oh, okay. But it's still one of those, like I said, same thing with The Tourist, where you know what you're getting and you can kind of take it what it is. And kind of
it's not an essential movie, but it's decent.
Yeah. Enjoyable enough. Jonah Hex.
I heard this was bad.
I did too. So much that I haven't really watched it. Maybe I've seen like bits and pieces of it here and there, but I've heard it was awful.
And I just gotta say, Tom Cruise. I don't want to go on to it. I like Tom Cruise in movies, like not just Top Gun Maverick, but my whole life. But like, because when you guys were talking about like stuff, I don't like J Law stuff she said, and all the other ones and stuff. Because I don't really follow much on what people are saying. So I don't even know a lot of that stuff. But like Tom Cruise, come on. Like if you're that deep into Scientology, he's got to be the craziest of them all. Like that shit is absurd as shit. Like Tom Cruise, like you've seen it on YouTube, the videos and shit that he's like giving speeches and behind the scenes in Scientology. Like the dude is totally nuts. Like it way crazier than people who make like socially awkward comments. But like,
yeah, no, I don't get where his mind at when it comes to that. He claimed that it all triggered his dyslexia.
Are absolutely batshit crazy. It's just true. They're normalized.
It's true. So, I was gonna say and at the same time, Christianity is fucking absurd to me. But I know so many people who like I don't want to offend them. I'm not calling them crazy. The ideas and religion are crazy to me. So yeah, Scientology is just not as popular as other religions that are just as crazy, really. So I'm not trying to say that, but to me, it's weird that, people will say, and I don't want to make it too political, but people will say, social.
Yes, we know what happens when things veer into political. Let's not.
Yeah, let's not go there, please.
Definitely
saying,
not.
Tom Cruise said the craziest shit of all to me, like, and it doesn't make me stop liking his movies at all. Like I love.
Yeah, I know it's weird about Tom Cruise because I know that he's very out there with some of his beliefs and stuff. But it's weird because, and sometimes it all depends on the person, but for whatever reason, like that doesn't necessarily transfer over for me into his work. I can still enjoy.
I think
his
he could
work.
like what
then
do you
there's
call
other
separate?
People. Yeah, like for me, I can, which is weird.
Like he can separate his religion
I know
the work
that
or the acting. I guess
Scientology and all that is. I know it's strange, but like it's like he. I don't know. He keeps his mouth shut in a lot of ways. And so a lot of what we know about those sorts of things are things that we are hearing maybe from other people or some just random silly stuff he said and done. But like he doesn't generally bloviate about it too much.
Well, he has to stay shut about it or stay quiet about it because that's privileged information. You have to pay for that stuff.
Yeah, there you go. So, but anyway, yeah, I do enjoy. I mean, I just watched Top Gun Maverick for like the 6th time on the big screen. So,
and I don't want to make it political. I'm trying to do the opposite actually, which is like I'm able to separate most of that shit. I like Tom Cruise movies a lot. I don't care how crazy, and that's why a lot of stuff like I don't keep up with all the other stuff. When you guys, I usually don't know what you're talking about when like the current stuff of what people are saying in social media and stuff. Mostly,
well, it's kind of hard. Like when you're tuned in a lot to like movie or entertainment related news and content, it's hard to miss stuff like that.
Yeah,
you see it all over Twitter. You see it like, especially when you're on YouTube. It's kind of hard to avoid.
I just put them all in that bubble, just all of them.
But yeah, this comment is right. Like he doesn't bring a lot of that or really any of that stuff into a lot of his storytelling, into a lot of his movies, and some of these other people they do.
Yeah,
and so that's kind of
like okay.
Maybe that's why I don't know.
Would Brie Larson be one
of
those people?
He did. He did with the couch jumping.
Oh yeah. Didn't like Brie Larson Didn't she
Yes.
bring stuff?
Yes, she has.
And who else was it that brought something else?
There's different people. Let's get off that subject. It just makes me all pissy.
I am ready for the
I was trying
return.
to do the opposite.
The return of what?
I am totally waiting. Chris is correct. I am waiting for the return of that character from Tropic Thunder.
Oh,
Lloyd Grossman.
so
Oh.
over the top and ridiculous in that.
Yeah, he was crazy.
Oh my
in
gosh,
that
he
movie.
was such a butt.
Due date. Has anybody seen that with Robert Downey Jr. and
No, I think I did. I think it was forgettable. Like
Forgot
not
all
like
about that movie.
I remember it, but it's been so long.
Wow, I completely forgot about that. I have so many. What's that?
Oh no, I was saying I actually forgot it was Robert Downey Jr. That seems
Yeah,
like because there are some like that Jason Bateman has been in. Like in my mind, I feel like I was thinking of him or my boy from Ted Lasso. I was thinking like, damn, I didn't realize Robert Downey Jr.
Eudicus.
Yeah, I remember the name of the movie,
Oh,
but
Unstoppable.
yeah, I was going to mention
Denzel
Unstoppable.
Washington and what's
Denzel
that guy's
Chris
name?
Pine and Rosario
Yeah.
Dawson, right?
Yep.
I think that was
It is-
based on a true story.
Sort of based. I thought
Mm.
it was it based on.
Yeah, it was.
But they made it all actiony.
Oh
and
yeah, of course they
crazy.
did. Then there was also True Grit.
That was pretty good. Coen Brothers. Jeff Bridges
that?
in a really fun accent.
Yes, he played like it was a remake of a John Wayne movie.
Yeah.
And he played the John Wayne character, and the chick who's everywhere now, she was the little girl. That was her first.
Oh
Haley
yeah,
Steinfeld.
Yes, her.
yeah.
Yeah.
The King's Speech.
It was good. I liked it.
Yeah,
The
I
King's Speech. Yes.
Oscar winner.
Yeah.
Of the
I
year.
enjoyed it, but I probably wouldn't watch it again.
Yeah, it's
was
like that
okay.
one. I don't know. Like it depends on the history. Like of a movie that's based on history. Like there's some that I would rewatch again, and others it's kind of like, well, it's
Yes.
good for one watch.
And in reference to that, yes, Chris Pine's dad was the boss, motorcycle Chips guy on the show Chips.
Oh, Chronicles of Narnia: The Voyage of the Dawn.
Yeah.
Shredder. Okay, I didn't write that one down. I
we
forgot
never
about
saw
that one.
that one.
No, did we not see the third one? That's the third one, right?
Yeah.
We
moment.
never. Saw
Okay,
the third
I guess I listened to all the books, but
one. And
yeah.
we mentioned The Fighter.
Yes, and we never talked about the Sorcerer's Apprentice. This was just kind of okay. Arturo briefly mentioned Buried, which had Ryan Reynolds in it.
Yeah.
I hated the way that movie ended.
Mm.
Secretariat, which is based on
Tobey Maguire.
Yes.
Horse movie.
Yeah, horse movie. Yeah.
Horse.
Let's see. We've already okay. So I started watching this movie called The Warrior's Way, which I thought was going to be interesting, but I didn't like how it was filmed. For whatever reason, it reminded me a little bit of Sin City, the way it looked, the aesthetic, but not quite as much as that. And so I don't know, I didn't finish watching it. Monsters was a sort of like
The sci-fi one, like documentary.
it's kind of like in the style of not documentaries. If I remember correctly, I think it's about this couple that's down in Mexico.
Yes, that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't typically like movies like that, but I did enjoy that one.
I enjoyed it too, and it was again like I wanted it to be the coolest movie ever because I love monsters and that kind of thing. But instead, it was just like, oh, that's pretty good. Like I like it. I liked it. It's
Yeah.
pretty good.
I couldn't tell you how it ended, but I just remember that I enjoyed it. Okay. Has anybody seen Death at a Funeral?
I just want to say the topic. If you described that. The plot and the title of Monsters to me, like that to me, like, all right, this could be a 5-star. This could be the best movie ever with that, like, monster. Like I love the idea of that movie. I don't think that movie pulled it off as well as I would have liked, but I still, I
enjoyed it. Has anyone seen Death at a Funeral?
No,
I saw the original one.
Oh, okay. So this was a remake.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it are either of them any good? I've never seen either.
The first one was pretty good. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know about the second one though.
Okay, D's like just kind of being silent. So
Oh no,
Yes,
I haven't. No. I haven't seen either one. I knew when the second one came out that it was a remake. I just didn't.
Okay.
Just seeing it, and I guess the only thing that put me off is that, which I mean, it's par for the course, but I was very disturbed realizing that poor Danny Glover took part in the scene in which his character is stuck on the toilet. And I don't know if it's Tracy Morgan's character that has his hands stuck under the toilet while he's trying to help him. And some bad things end up on Tracy Morgan's hand. And I didn't know if I felt like sitting in the theater eating popcorn.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Gross.
Okay.
I don't like gross out comedy.
Like toilet humor and stuff like that. I can't get into.
It's too low.
So they're both like that? They're both like that?
Oh, I don't know about the first one. I just know that's a gag in the second one. It may not be in the first one.
Okay. I don't know.
I'm looking at the Oscar page, and we pretty much talked about all the big Oscar movies, but I forgot how much I love the Oscars. Not just Natalie Portman and Trent Reznor, but Best Supporting Actor Christian Bale, one of my favorite actors.
Yes, right, because for The Fighter. I remember when he won that.
And that was exciting to me because, like Christian Bale and Natalie Portman were so good. And Trent Reznor. And then the winner of Best Actor was named Colin, which was cool because Colin is a name that Colin Firth.
Oh,
Colin was a name that growing up, no one had ever heard my name. They Colin Powell and Colin and like
I kept messing that up.
He keeps calling you Arturo in the early days.
My whole life,
used to keep calling you
in the early days of my dyslexia.
But that's why, like, when Colin Firth or someone wins the Oscar, or Colin whatever makes it to the Super Bowl, Kaepernick, I'm like, yes, do good for my name, like. So that was a good Oscars for me. Is I just want to say I love this Oscars here.
It's a really common name over here.
Yeah, it is. It's an Irish name, right? I mean, I thought, and I guess my mom just heard it and liked it. It's a fine name. It's just annoying to be mistaken for Colin, because Colin Powell's really famous over here in the 90s.
My Swedish ex-girlfriend's mother used to call me Seaman. Hello, Seaman.
No.
Seaman. Go so good to see you, Seaman.
And you can't correct her, you just have to take it.
It's Simon, I told you. Oh, Seaman, I'm sorry.
Oh dear. Okay. Okay.
Seaman and colon.
Seaman and colon.
All right. So we've talked about The Wolf Man. We've talked about Shutter Island. Has anybody seen Date Night?
The Wolf Man. Yeah, again, that was one. I've become bitter to movies because all these movies I'm like, I'm gonna love this movie, and then I was just like, like, because it was
okay. It was
Faye and Steve Carell, right?
Yes, and Michael C. Hall showed up at the towards the end. He was like a baddie. I remember being surprised to see him in that because
this was like peak Tina Fey, Steve Carell. This was when Office and 30 Rock was on every week, and they were my two favorite shows. I watched them every Thursday. I was so excited for the new Office and 30 Rock. The idea of Tina Fey and Steve Carell in the movie together was like, but this is going to be the best movie of the year, right? Funniest movie of the year. It
was okay.
And then it was fun, but comedy films are often, they try to be too broad. They try to contain too much story, which you don't need for a 90-minute stupid comedy. And they just never live up to what they could be. Most of the time, they don't live up, for me, to what like TV does so much better, which is just be funny the whole time. So Date Night, great cast, but not a memorable film.
Yeah. I wanted to reference what is being mentioned here. I saw The Devil. I guess I forgot that was a 2010 movie. I saw that movie. I enjoyed it quite a bit. At first, I thought it was referring to the movie Devil, which takes place in an elevator, which I also enjoyed.
Yeah,
what's that?
Which is this year.
Yeah, 2010. Yeah, but I thought he was talking about. Did I Saw the Devil come out in 2010? I'm assuming he's talking about 2010. Have you guys seen that movie?
Mm-mm. But the other Devil, the elevator one, was also 2010?
Yeah, that was also 2010. I remember liking that one. I've seen it once and I enjoyed it. I Saw the Devil was good. It starred dude who played in The Good, the Bad, the Weird.
And the baddie.
The baddie, yeah. And basically the story is his girlfriend gets killed by this serial killer. So he makes it his mission to take revenge on him. And it's very bloody.
Oof.
Yeah.
Pretty
It's
much
very,
he saw the devil as in he saw the killer.
I took it to mean that he saw the devil within himself. That's just kind of what I took it, because the links that he went to get, that's the way I took it. I might be completely wrong, because he does go to some very dark places and do some very dark things in his quest for revenge against this guy. So, but I thought it was really good.
Sorry, Sin. When I mentioned that, I didn't know if that was, we hadn't talked about it yet. So I'm sorry. When I said, I think, and it's in 2010, I wasn't sure if it was going to be mentioned or not in the list. So when I said it, I was like, oh, that's in 2010. Sorry. I was thinking when I said it.
It's okay. Extraordinary Measures. Did anybody see that? Was that Brendan Fraser?
And Harrison Ford?
Harrison Ford. I have very vague memories of that. In other words, maybe I never actually saw it all the way. Maybe I just knew of it. So I don't know. And then there was a movie called The Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider?
No, The Ghost Writer.
Oh, okay.
That had Ewan McGregor. I remember that had him, and I've seen bits and pieces of it, like on Pluto TV, but I haven't seen it all the way. And Pierce Brosnan. Actually, a lot of people had James Belushi, John Bernthal, Eli Wallach, Kim Cattrall, Timothy Hutton. Okay. I didn't realize there were that many people in there. We've talked about the Crazies, haven't we? Yes.
Morning Glory, another
I
Harrison.
really want to see the Crazies. I missed that one. I like it.
That was fun. Timothy Olyphant. You said Morning Glory?
Yep. Rachel McAdams, Harrison Ford, and Don Keaton.
Oh, what? I don't think I've ever heard of this one. What's it about?
It's about a morning show, basically.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah, the morning show one. Yeah.
Oh,
I think I saw it.
Wow, I have never heard of this movie.
Really?
This slipped right under my radar. Yeah. No, I haven't. Jeff Goldblum?
It's worth a watch.
Oh, okay.
Then,
which is funny. They now have the morning show series on Apple.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was thinking of too.
It's not about the same thing, though, is it?
No.
Oh, okay. What were you going to ask me, Arturo?
I was going to say the Trigun movie came out this year.
Oh, that was a fun movie.
That was fun. Mm-hmm.
I don't think I saw that movie. I should. The series was good.
It's coming. It's coming back. Like, is it coming back?
The 3D one's already going.
What's? Because Johnny Young Bosch just recently talked about
coming back to voice that.
Is it going to be in a movie, or is it?
No, it's just a show right now. I'm saying the Trigun Badlands Rumble came out this year.
In 2010, yeah. I remember watching that movie.
Oh, can I ask, is Arturo, you don't play Fortnite, I guess?
No.
Aurelia does.
But my sister and her boyfriend constantly play it.
Today they added Dragon Ball Z Kamehameha, and I already had My Hero
Academia.
Deku Smash, which is like a Kamehameha. So now the game is just like everyone's flying around doing like anime Kamehas.
Yeah. So you got Indiana Jones, you got Vader, you got Gears of War, you got what else? You got multiple characters. You got Street Fighter, Naruto, My Hero, Dragon Ball. It's like multiverse.
But not just the costumes, like the weapons. You get to shoot their energy beams and stuff.
The Witcher. Yeah, the Witcher Doom guy. Crazy. Yep, right now they're like in the background, they're playing it.
Oh, is that what they're playing? Okay.
Yes,
is Javier in the same room with you?
No, he's in my room. Playing
it. That's what I said. He's in your room. Oh, okay.
He's in my room playing it.
Well, she's having fun, I can tell, because I've heard her laugh a lot.
I laugh a lot when I play Fortnite. I play it a lot.
Did anybody see Red?
Oh, I did. Red was fun.
Action movie, Helen Mirren.
Yes,
I did see that.
I thought it was enjoyable, but I only saw it once. Did you guys see the sequel?
No, I don't know how I missed it. because I remember when it was coming out, and so whatever reason, ended up missing it completely. But the first one was really fun.
Yeah, it was. I don't think I watched the second one. I think it didn't get as. I don't think it was as enjoyed as much as the first one by a lot of people. So I just never really watched it. Also,
list.
there's a movie called Hereafter. Is that the one with Matt Damon? I don't know. I don't remember who directed it. That was directed by Clint Eastwood.
Go ahead, make my day.
Yeah, it was funny because I just did a review for Clint Eastwood's very first directorial, the very first movie he directed, which I did not realize was the very first movie he directed, which was Play Misty for Me. If you guys have ever heard of that. Yeah, so I finally got around to watching it, and I did a review for it. So I forgot that Clint Eastwood directed it, but I've never seen this movie. It has the girl who played in Mary
Louise
Parker. Say what?
Is it Mary Louise Parker, or are you talking about someone else?
No, it's got Matt Damon and Cecile de France in it. She's the chick who played in High Tension.
Oh, okay.
If you've ever seen that movie, she's the one on the cover holding the big, huge saw.
Yep.
It has Derek Jacobi, Bryce Dallas Howard, but for whatever reason, I was never interested to watch it. And someone mentioned the movie Faster with The Rock in it. I thought about watching that, but never got around to it. And then a movie that I did start watching specifically for this stream, but I have not finished, was a movie called Repeaters. And it's basically just about this group of people who are like in this, I don't know, like a halfway house type of, or some sort of, like where's a home, like a home where you send people who are troubled youths or whatever. And for something happens and their day starts repeating. So I like time loop sort of stories. So I've been working on that one. I meant to finish it last night and then completely forgot.
It just keeps resetting.
It keeps resetting their day, but they remember what happens. And
but
so one of the guys
starting it too, and you keep rewinding to kind of remember your place, but then you don't remember. It's like, is this
no, because it picks up where I have seen it, where I stopped, because I'm watching it on I'm watching it on Freevee, and so it remembers where I've been.
Well, I can't speak for Freebie, but the movie sounds pretty confusing.
It's not confusing. Oh, so yeah, kind of like Groundhog Day, except more exciting, because Groundhog Day is okay to me, but I'm not super crazy about comedy, and I don't know. So,
see, I think Groundhog Day is cool, but I find that a lot of the films that have been inspired by that, by that same structure, we've seen so many variations of it. But some of those to me have been more enjoyable than that film. I understand why people enjoy it, but like Edge of Tomorrow and
yes.
Yeah, Edge of Tomorrow and Happy Death Day. Those are two.
Oh, I love Happy Death Day. That was so much fun.
Yeah, both of those are examples where they've taken that concept and they've made something really unique and interesting.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
Was Death Day the one that just came out recently with the fucking the guy? God, no, I can't remember the action guy. Wasn't there like a video game that he keeps dying every day, and he keeps replaying?
You're thinking, I think it's like Choose or Die or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
that one.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about
reviewed it, Sin. You reviewed it like last year, I think.
Wait.
And I'm thinking of it where it's like,
oh, wait. I know what you're talking. It's got the guy.
Thomas Jane? No.
It's got the guy that was in Captain America Winter Soldier, the bad guy.
Boss Level.
Yes, Boss Level.
Yes, I was like, yeah.
Oh.
Yes. Boss Level, because the title that you brought up, I was like, that's okay. Well, that must be something else. I was immediately thinking of Boss Level.
Oh, okay.
Yes, he wasn't playing a game, but they made it like a game. Like a lot of the terminology that they used and some of the stuff they would put, the graphics was very much like a game.
Excuse me.
That was a fun movie.
That movie. Yeah,
I love that movie. That was so much fun. I love repeating day movies.
Sorry, I was loud and wrong on that one when you said game, and I remember the Choose or Die that came out, and for whatever reason, that's immediately what my mind went to. But I have to check this out.
Oh, you haven't seen Boss Level? I think it's on Hulu. If you have,
Oh
Hulu.
yeah, Boss Level's awesome.
It's a lot of fun, a whole lot of fun.
Okay, good, because Choose or Die is not.
Okay.
Speaking of repeating day movies, have you ever seen the end of Strange Days? Sin?
Okay, Simon. This is a running joke. This is a running joke with Simon. He kept forgetting, like 2 or 3 times in a row, he kept forgetting that he'd asked me if I'd seen Strange Days. And after I saw Strange Days, we talked about it on Discord. We had like a little text combo about it on Discord. Then he asks me in a live stream if I ever got around to watching it. And I was like, yes, Simon, we did. And then he asked me again on Discord. Okay, so now at this point,
and in
Simon,
my defense, every time I asked you, it was like
you were high.
2 a.m. No, it was like 2 a.m.
Oh, okay.
You know? So how am I meant to remember that?
Okay. So then when you did it just now, and obviously I knew you were yanking my chain, I started to wonder if that time you just asked me on Discord if you were yanking my chain then, but you honestly just forgot.
I honestly did, yeah.
Okay. That was a tangent. Sorry. Okay. I had others I just wrote down just because I was interested to watch them, and I don't know if you guys have seen any of them. Stone is one. Oh. My Soul to Take.
I think I remember that, but no.
Farewell. No. The Killer Inside Me.
No.
And 4, 3, 2, 1.
No.
Okay. Those are just ones that I just wrote them down, maybe just to watch them. But anyway.
I think you should write down Flipped.
What? Why?
I think it's interesting. It's nothing crazy or.
Oh, I thought you were okay. Hold on. What's? Oh.
No one mentioned.
Oh, this is a Rob Reiner film.
Did anyone mention Scott Pilgrim vs. the World?
Yeah.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, you might have been. Maybe you were out of the room. Yeah.
Okay. That's worth a mention. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would.
Well, any potential for Sin to have seen it got obliterated by Simon earlier. So yeah.
What?
Simon hates it. Why do you hate it?
He said that wasn't the main reason.
Well, he said he didn't like it.
That wasn't the main reason.
What are we talking about?
Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Oh yeah, shit.
Brie Larson was in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like as soon as he said that, I'm like, okay, it's game over. So,
oh no.
But the premise just also didn't seem super interesting. Like
I liked it because it was different.
Some people say they feel like it was ahead of its time.
It felt like a comic book movie to me.
And I do think that's part of it too. Sometimes, and I think you and I have talked about this then. I can't remember what the example we used, but there are some times where like a film, you kind of have to experience it then.
Yeah.
And kind of how it fits within that time because it feels ahead of its time versus watching down the road when there have been, and I'm not saying, I don't know if there are similar films to this, but there are times where you can watch a film in its time or you miss it. And then because you've seen similar films or better films or like other films that have done more with it, then when you start back, it's like, oh.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'd never heard of Flipped. I just looked it up here. Interesting. Okay. Maybe I'll check it out.
I think it might be one you might enjoy because it's kind of.
Well, I saw romantic comedy, so I'm like.
Oh no! I mean, it's not. I don't know if that's the best terminology because it's dealing with younger people. So I mean, it's quirky and it's kind of funny, but it's not like watching. I don't know. It's not like watching Knocked Up or or something that's more typically romantic comedy. These are dealing with like younger like teens or something like that, and it's very specific as far as the story it's telling. So that's why I think you find it interesting.
Okay.
The biggest selling point is it's directed by Edgar Allan Wright.
No, it's not.
Is it not?
No, flipped.
Oh, wait, no, we're talking
Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, you're talking about. You're still thinking about Scott Pilgrim. Yes, that's directed by
Edgar Wright.
Yes,
Edgar Allan
he's
Wright.
is that his real name?
Is that his real middle name?
Mm-hmm.
I never
Really?
knew that. I only see him as Edgar Wright.
Okay. Was that the same
That's
guy
wait,
who
no,
directed?
Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah,
That
I
is
know.
a joke. It's got to be a joke. Damn it, that's a joke. Or it could be Edgar Allan Wright.
I thought it was just Edgar Wright.
It's
Wait,
like, that sounds like
is that the same guy who made Last Night in Soho, right?
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
One of my faves from that year, as Nelson.
Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a
he
good,
made
very good career.
Yep. Okay. Well, I'm done talking about different ones. I told you I had a lot that I had written down. Yeah. So I've got my top. Shoot, hold on.
I got like maybe
I've got
5.
like 5. Yeah, I know I have 5.
I got 5.
Okay.
Hot Tub Time Machine. Did anyone see that?
Oh, but I've
liked
heard
it.
about it.
I've heard great
That's
things.
right.
Yeah, I never. It's like a comedy, right?
It is.
It is, yeah. I wasn't expecting much of it, but it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, that's how I felt. I really like Craig Robinson, and the dorky kid with the glasses was pretty funny. I've never seen him in anything. You know, John Cusack's just all right, but yeah, it was good. It's a good movie.
What's new?
Okay. Does anyone want to talk about their top films?
Yeah.
Okay. Who wants to go first?
Well, this year was actually rough for me. I'm like scrolling the IMDb movies and just I couldn't. There's not a lot that I was into. Like my top 3, I would have to Inception probably number 3, which like I said, I don't even really love it. I liked it a lot. Shutter Island number 2 for what I talked about. Just even though I wouldn't watch it again, maybe ever, it was so good. It was like one of the best serious movies I've seen. And we never talked about the best comedy of the year. Probably no one's seen it or even knows it exists, but I love MacGruber.
Oh, I've heard about MacGruber.
And they even brought it back as a TV series.
Oh gosh,
recently, which was all right. It was probably would have been better as a second movie for 2 hours instead of 10 hours as a series. But like, I love MacGruber. It's dumb comedy, but I think it's because Will Forte is. I don't know if he's underrated or correctly rated, but I think he's one of the funniest comedians. I think he's got just a natural ability. He's really. I don't know if it's a charm or just something about him that he's really, really funny. And I like him in most things he does. And he really makes MacGruber funny. And there's just some really good, dumb comedy in it. Kristen Wiig's in it. Ryan Phillippe's in it. And it just made me laugh a lot. I've watched it a few times. And I don't know why particularly. I think it's because Will Forte. So, yeah, MacGruber, Shutter Island, Inception.
Okay. Anybody else?
What are we doing? Top 3?
Yes, or however. Like I happen to have 5.
This was a guy prepared. It started as an SNL sketch. It's probably the only well, I wouldn't say only, but it was actually an example of an SNL skit becoming a good movie, in my opinion. Rarely happens.
Okay, I'll go top 5. Black Swan, Winter's Bone, The Crazies, True Grit, and Inception.
Okay.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay.
I think we talked about all of those. Yeah, we did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll go next too because I have mine ready. Well, The Losers. That's a really fun movie. The Next 3 Days. I love that movie. Daybreakers, vampire movie. I don't think did we talk about that one at all?
No, we did not.
Gosh, we didn't, and that was one of the ones you watched.
Yep.
So that was an interesting take on vampires. That was basically
true
about
vampires. True.
They weren't sparkling. That was basically about these vampires. They were overtaking the human population, but they needed humans to survive, obviously, and so they were like farming humans. They had humans in this place, like and they would farm
Like
their blood.
cattle.
Like people would invest in however many humans they wanted to put in this place to farm or whatever. And they discovered that whenever a vampire would go too long without blood, they would start to regress to a more monster form. Like these vampires in this movie were living like regular people. They had jobs, they read their newspapers, they drank coffee with blood in it, except they had these eyes and, you know, they had fangs and everything. And so they had to try to figure out what were they going to do, what was going to happen if all there were no more humans to feed off of, and they were all going to just regress to this awful, terrible monster form. And so it was an interesting premise, and it had Ethan Hawke and Willem Dafoe and Sam Neill. And
I feel like I should have heard about that one.
Yeah, it kind of I don't remember that it got a ton of attention at the time, but I knew of it a long time ago. I think I watched it early on, not on the big screen, but I saw it when it came out on video, and I really liked it. I thought it was
such a nice family-friendly movie.
Such a nice family-friendly.
You can let your kids watch it. Nothing to worry about.
And the Crazies, I love the Crazies as well. And then another one that we haven't talked about, which D knows at this point now after I exposed him to it during our last watch party, and that's Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Wait, I thought you said that didn't come out in 2010.
Oh, well, they say it's a 2010 movie.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, I know.
Now I want to talk about Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil. It's comedy.
It's so funny.
I should have brought that. Yeah,
I'm not into comedy generally, but it was mixed with like horror,
that makes my list tougher now.
Like was horror and also, I guess, I don't know, thriller type actiony stuff. But it was just so funny, and the dynamic between the two actors in that movie was hilarious, and I enjoyed the hell out of that film. So those are my top 5.
Nice. Those are all. I gotta see the Crazies and the Losers. The Crazies and the Losers. I gotta see. It'll be fitting for me.
It's weird. So it says it was released in September 30th of 2011.
But then it's also talked about as a 2010 movie.
Oh, let me see. It says January of 2010 distributed.
See? So I'm taking it. I'm declaring it. That's a 2010
okay, well, this
movie.
makes my list a little harder, but I could probably knock one down.
Yeah, it was called Daybreakers. It was I really enjoyed that movie a lot. Okay, who's next? Arturo or D?
Oh, I was going to say I'm actually going to have to so I can throw mine in really quickly.
We're almost at the end.
Yeah.
We're almost out of our 4 hours. I know. We're almost out at our 4 hours, so you made it a very, very long way.
Yes.
Awesome.
All right, so I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, you guys shouldn't be surprised. Clearly, Trash Humpers. The list. Like, there's no getting around it. Okay. No. I'm gonna go with, which is funny the way this is balanced, but I'm gonna go with Shutter Island, Black Swan, Tangled, Let Me In, and Splice.
Okay.
So everything dark, sadistic,
except for Tangled.
Except for Tangled.
That's pretty funny. Yeah. Super dark, psychological, and Tangled. That's a good list.
You have eclectic taste, D.
Of course.
Wait, what was the Let Me In, Let Me In, Tangled, Black Swan, Shutter Island. What was the other one?
Splice.
And Splice. We talked about that. That was the horror film with
kind of horror sci-fi.
Okay.
Yeah, he talked about that when he was mentioning the Avatar movie.
Oh, because he left out when I was
Oh, okay.
Okay. Cool.
Birdemic. I know you love Birdemic. He's mentioned this movie multiple times. I mean, he mentioned it at the end of the 2009 one, or he like posted a comment. Don't let me miss the 2010 stream because I want to. Birdemic. And then I went and forgot to watch it. I have to see it now. I have to watch it at this point.
I mean,
guess
you're
I'll
just
torture
wasting
myself.
time.
I know.
I think
I
the
know.
worst movie we
think
saw was that
Super-
World War II sci-fi movie.
I missed Super, and I didn't know about James Gunn back then. I like Rainn Wilson. James Gunn's pretty. He makes some funny movies. Super might be good. There's no
I don't
good,
know
yeah.
how to feel about him running DC.
Did you see the Slit?
See the what?
The new DC Slate?
I haven't seen.
The slit or the slate?
Slate.
No. What do you mean? What have they
Uh,
announced?
James Gunn announced the sort of phase 1 of his DC
Okay.
slate.
No,
so-
I don't think I've seen that.
I'll post a link in the Discord.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
gonna say, but I know that Sin is so excited for the changes that are coming with James Gunn, especially because she was not a huge fan of what was done before, especially with Wonder Woman and Superman. So she's absolutely excited and looking forward to the future of these.
Listen to the sarcasm coming out of this man. No, I'm still salty about it.
Oh, I know. I figured.
I'm not going to go watch. I'm not going to go watch. No.
Because I was actually thinking about you when I saw the stuff popping up. I was like,
Oh, see, yeah, and I missed that. Was it today? Did it come out today? Or
I believe so. I saw the information or the
11 hours ago.
oh,
yeah.
okay. It's been a busy day, and I was away from home most of the day, so I completely missed it.
Well, it's on the Discord now.
Okay, I'll check it out later. But I'll be feeling pretty snarly about it, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
A couple of notable deaths this year.
Yeah, this year it's only been a month. Oh, you know,
2010,
2010. I'm like, this
2010.
year? Okay. Who?
Gary Coleman.
Oh, yeah, little guy.
Yeah. Dennis Hopper.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Simon McCorkindale.
Who
Manimal.
is he?
I don't know if that's a very notable death.
To me, it was. I loved
Okay.
it when I grew up. Dino De Laurentiis.
Oh, yeah, him.
Irving Kershner,
Don't recognize who that might be.
director of Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
And Leslie Nielsen.
Oh, okay. Wow, it's hard. Wow, it's hard to believe it's been that long ago since he passed. Jeez.
And Tony Curtis.
Tony Curtis. That would be Arturo. That would be Jamie Lee Curtis's father.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
all right. I guess everybody else went already.
Yep. This is your turn.
All right. These aren't really in order. They're just on my top 5 of the year that I liked and enjoyed. So, Toy Story 3, that was good.
yeah.
I remember liking that one a lot. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. It's getting even grittier.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Unstoppable a lot. The music was good. Intense. And of course, Tucker and Dale versus Evil. I mean, come on. That's funny.
Yeah, that's a good one. I
really like DreamWorks How to Train Your Dragon. As much as I do like the first one, I haven't seen the others, but I enjoyed the first one. And then, of course,
We need to watch them.
Trigun Badlands Rumble. That was fun. And that's
Okay.
about it.
You had quite a few.
Yep, quite a few.
All right.
Now, there were some shows that started this year. If we want to dig deep into
I
that, real quick.
always forget about talking about the shows.
Young Justice, I think.
Oh, Young Justice.
Is this
Okay.
one supposed to start?
You guys, Boardwalk Empire. Got us. I know Simon said it's on his list, but if you got, it's on HBO, the whole series. Boardwalk.
That's
Empire. Oh,
that's
good.
what's that guy? Who's that guy in there?
Buscemi?
Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, him.
Oh,
Yeah.
Haven.
Oh, Haven started this year. I liked Haven. That was an interesting show. That actually was based on a short story that Stephen King wrote, which was based on the true story of the mystery of the Somerton Man.
Really?
Yes. Got him.
Oh.
You heard
What are
about
you
the Big
doing?
Man?
Wait, stop. He just knows how to hear. Really, stop.
Poor Levi.
Wait, what were you saying?
Didn't they recently found out who the Summerton man was?
Yes, they did.
finally
So there
found
goes
out.
Timothy's story.
Na, 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 na,
Oh,
na,
Walking
na, na.
Dead started.
What's that?
Walking Dead started.
Oh yeah, that's right. 2010.
Yeah, I remember when The Walking Dead started.
Wow.
Damn.
Covert
Long
Affairs.
time again. Night, Chris. Oh, I remember Covert Affairs. I watched
And Sherlock.
several episodes of it.
Oh, yeah.
Sherlock! I love that
like
show
that
so
show.
So
much.
good. The Martin Freeman, Benedict.
Oh my
Sherlock.
gosh,
Yeah,
I
so
love that
good.
show.
Anybody
I
here
miss,
seen?
I miss them
Oh,
in those
Yeah,
roles.
I really,
Did-
really liked that. I mean, it was
No.
almost like mini movies, you know, like each season would be like 3 mini movies. as
Yeah,
our
because they were
BBC
like an hour and a
episode.
half long. I loved
Yeah.
them.
Downton Abbey started this year.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, I'm
Downton
way
Abbey-
behind on that, but
Luther,
Has anybody heard?
Luther,
of-
and you know they're coming out with a movie.
are they?
There's a Luther movie coming out, and I'm so behind on Luther. I feel like I need to go back and start and rewatch. Is it still on Netflix? Does anybody know?
Oh,
I watched it. I don't know.
Because
So,
I want to
two
see the
things.
movie. It might come to the
Who-
big screen.
who here seen the regular show, the cartoon?
I haven't.
The regular
Okay.
show?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's
Haven't
called the
watched it.
regular show.
Oh, okay.
Justified.
Oh, Justified. I like that show too.
I
do wanna just say about- Boardwalk. I think one of the best things about it is because it's 5 seasons long. I think they really get the ending right. It feels like a complete show. You know, it doesn't. The only slower season is season 3. There's a little dip in the middle, but it's really cinematic and the ending is good. So I'll just
Did
say that.
Adventure
I think
Time
Boardwalk
start?
is
I never checked. I never checked that out because it seemed to me. Is it like something mobby?
It's about it's gangs.
That's why I never checked.
Prohibition. If you're, I guess if you're not into that, this isn't gonna like change your mind. But
Yeah, it did
I think
start.
it's the best. I love it. Oh,
The
okay.
Great British Bacon Show.
God damn it, Simon! I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
The Great British Baking Show has become a staple.
Okay,
in
D
this
likes it.
household. I love it.
Yeah, it's
I
great.
love it. Paul Hollywood.
Bionic Titans, the cartoon.
I've
Oh,
never heard of that.
You just saw. I just saw High School of the Dead was released. Yes, I
Oh,
remember
that's
when
it.
High School of the Dead came out.
That was the anime with all, was that the one with all the fan service?
Oh yes.
Okay.
I mean, I had to look past it because it's only like zombie anime about zombie apocalypse.
Oh yeah, he
That's the
mentions it
only.
here.
That is like the only one that I had to like endure.
What? Oh, Conan show. Oh, Conan. That's. Oh yeah, that's when he moved to TBS.
Oh.
Mhm.
Yeah. Wow. It's hard to believe it's been that long. And
Then
then
there's a
Any bronies in the house? Clop, clop.
there's a
No,
then
no.
there is a vampire anime, Dance in the Vampire Bund.
Never
That's-
I
heard of it.
remember seeing that.
Stan,
Oh.
Luther is on
Yeah.
Hulu.
It's on Hulu. Okay. It used. I thought it used to be on Netflix, but
It is, but you know how they like to snatch stuff.
okay.
Ain't
So I have access. I definitely want to get back into that because if that movie comes to the big screen, I want to watch it. They've got it on my
Releases-
Cinemark app, but there's no like they're not selling the tickets yet, so I don't know when it's really supposed to come out.
10th
so
of
close,
March.
but yet so far away.
the first review,
Wait.
the first anime review I ever did on this channel came out this
wait.
year. Angel Beats.
Oh,
A
okay.
very depressing.
Angel Beat.
Yeah, I remember watching that when I had that really bad ear infection, the one where the pollen affected my immune system.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I remember recovering from that. That show is just downright sad.
Yeah, I won't be watching it.
It is like even the smallest little thing in that show was sad. Like
Yeah, it
just
won't be.
because it had to do with life and because
Yeah.
unless if anybody doesn't mind what it's about, like the premise, it's pretty much these people that are in purgatory and they have to move on and you get glimpses of like their life and all that, but it's just so sad. Like that, I remember that's the one anime that like, I don't know.
I want
if I
to
can watch it.
respond to the chat. The Dulcimera said, check it out with Dr. Steve Brule.
Oh,
It's really funny, and I just got into this show I'm addicted to right now on YouTube. It's all free, called On Cinema at the Cinema, from Tim
Legend of the Legendary Hero.
Heidecker. And if you like that kind of humor, I'm addicted to this show. It's like, I could describe it as like cigarettes. Like you have one and you're like, I don't really like it. Like, why do people like this? It's not very good. There's a little something I like. And then like a couple days later, it's like changed. You're like, I love this. Like, I get it now.
Okay.
It's hard to describe. Like the first take, it's like bad, but it's a parody satire. No one cares. On Cinema at the Cinema is really funny if you like that kind of humor. So I'm addicted.
Louis
Okay.
started in 2010.
Who? What did?
Louis, the Louis C.K.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah.
The good one, the good version, that show we did. He had like 2 or 3
heard it.
shows that were just like his name, but the Comedy Central one, right? Where
I don't know.
I guess
I didn't know there were more than one.
I don't think I ever watched that. In answer to this question, I have no idea when it debuted. I just have only heard of Undercover Boss, but I've never watched it.
I think the good Louis C.K. didn't have a laugh track. He had a couple laugh track shows, which are crappy. But the good Louis C.K. is like I don't know if I'd say landmark, but an extremely good comedic series. Really good.
I want to add one more show to this conversation now. This is actually a documentary show, just more like drama, but this was around the time History Channel was taking that really bad dive turn into like just pawn
Not
shop
history
and
at
all
all.
that. Yeah, like this was, I wouldn't say this was the last good documentary, or at least a documentary about history, but it was about America, the Story of Us.
Okay.
That came out that year.
I
watched it with your dad.
Oh, I think that was a DVD I got, right? But I don't think I
Yeah.
ever watched it.
No, I mean,
You probably read how it ended, though.
yeah, you probably did. How that all ended for the country. Yeah, well, it was okay at best. Probably like the only time, at least one of the times that History Channel actually did show history.
Yeah, they've really
that was
they
like
used
the
to be an
shift.
enjoyable channel, and now they
Yeah, it used to be history. Now it's not. It's like called something else.
The iced road truckers and
Yeah.
stupid pawn shop and the, ancient aliens and just,
Oh, they keep it, ancient.
I really used to love that channel. And
Like,
now
here's the thing.
I
I
avoid
noticed the shift actually started around maybe late 2008. That was when the truck driver part started.
Ugh.
And it wasn't until 2009 that it, like, later on in 2009 that it just increased with that. And then 2010, of course, didn't help. And, of course, this was like the one show that was, like, historical. From what I
every
can
once
remember.
in a while they'll come out with some actual documentaries, but for the most
But
part,
it just doesn't make sense. You're called the History Channel for a reason. You're not there to
I
show
don't get it.
like a sitcom.
Well, they don't really have sitcoms on there, do they?
Well, it's just, I mean, it's them collecting stuff of like old things from the past. I mean, yeah, that is
Yeah,
history,
pawn
but
shop.
I want to see
Didn't Duck Dynasty come out on the History Channel?
Duck Dynasty.
Was that where Duck Dynasty, or was that some other?
I'm not sure.
Whatever.
I know it had to do American Pickers, pawn shop. It just was boring.
Do we have any? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Simon.
I just want to say have a good night, D. He has to go.
Oh, D wrote us. Sorry, D. You had mentioned that early on that you had to. Oh,
Good night, D.
Good night, D. Thank you so much for joining us almost till the end, and we'll have another watch
D,
party
don't go.
sometime. He's tired.
No.
He probably has to get up, go to work. Like we have to get up and go help Ken tomorrow.
D has good taste.
I get up
I
early.
like hearing what he says.
Yes, I do too. He is always so much fun to talk to. But we have to thank ancient. Yeah, right.
We have to thank
So-
ancient aliens.
the
Yes, we
main-
do.
So what I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens. That's the one I see a lot. I was just going to ask if there were any 2011 films that you guys wanted to suggest.
Yeah,
Well, I need to watch Lincoln Lawyer.
I was just looking at that to find something to suggest. And I do have. Have you seen Sucker Punch by Zack Snyder?
I have not.
Well, watch
That
Sucker-
looks wild. I might watch that.
Watch it.
It's
Sucker
bad.
Punch.
Watch it.
I've heard
Wait, did
people
Simon say it's
says-
bad?
Yeah, Simon's like
It's
"Ugh."
bad.
No, it's really good. It's
It's
really
bad.
I'm getting two
I have
opinions
it.
here.
I
Let's
own
have a
it.
debate.
Do
Let's
you
have a
say
debate.
it's good because it's just eye candy?
Yeah.
Okay.
in good soundtrack.
Oh,
Okay.
I get what he.
And a good
Oh.
soundtrack. And no, not the ladies. I mean, they're fine. They're not ugly. But no, it's
Sure.
got like
Sure.
Nazi Trent warfare, like, and then the samurai fighting, and then like it's really good soundtrack. I mean, yeah, it's just like visual candy and good score. But I mean,
yeah, definitely visual.
I don't know. I think it's great. One of the best movies of the year.
Some
Good
people
stuff.
I've seen some people just absolutely love it, and other people think it's terrible.
I might watch it just to see. I know in 2012 I want to watch the second Silent Hill movie.
Okay, but you also mentioned the Lincoln Lawyer.
Yeah, Lincoln Lawyer.
That
I'm
was
trying to think of what else.
2011. Wow, it's hard to believe it's been the Lincoln Lawyer was a really, really good adaptation of the book. I loved it a lot. It was very good.
I never saw it.
Oh, that was really good. It's based on a book by Michael Connolly, who writes a series of books about a detective called Harry Bosch.
Uh-huh.
And they have the show on Amazon Prime. And in fact, that actress that recently died, she was in the first season of that, and she was made appearances in another season or two. But Michael Connolly is a really solid author. Like, very rarely do I listen to one of his books in this series of books that he does they're generally all solid. Some might be a little bit, it's okay. But for the most part, they're very solid. So, and the story, the show stars Titus Welliver. He plays Bosch. And now they've done a spinoff called The Lincoln Lawyer. And I can't remember if that's on Netflix. But in the story, The Lincoln Lawyer, and in the story of Bosch, these two guys are half brothers. And so they have crossover stories that happen a lot. So yeah, it's just
The Bosch doesn't show up in the.
Bosch does not show up in The Lincoln Lawyer. And when they started the Bosch show, they could not have Matthew McConaughey cross over into the show. It had something to do with rights or whatever.
Oh.
But they did this spin-off thing with a whole different actor. Anyway. Okay, 2011 films. I have to refresh
Colin,
my memory.
are you two?
What's that? What's that, Simon?
I was just asking Colin if he's too embarrassed to recommend the Smurfs.
I mean, not over Sucker Punch, but I mean, this is the first Smurfs we're talking about, because I mean,
It is, yeah.
all right, because honestly, if it's the second one, it'd be just as good. Yeah, you could see them both, and they're fine films. I mean, they're no.
I felt like I've seen a majority of the 2011.
Okay, Attack
movies.
the Block is a good movie. That's
I saw that movie.
okay. You did
Yeah.
see it. It's not a huge hit, but I liked Attack the Block. There's just, I don't know, it's either like stuff I know you've probably seen, or something that you probably would, like a dumb comedy that I know you would.
Oh, Arturo, Ghost Protocol, Mission Impossible. You haven't seen that one.
Oh,
Like, yeah,
wait.
I wouldn't say that. I know you've seen that, right? Like, I know you've seen stuff like that. You don't want to see Sucker Punch. I don't know. I feel that's what I was saying before we start. Like, I don't have as much good. Maybe I just wasn't as into movies this last decade, where it's not enough of them stuck with me. I know. Okay, I know.
Well-
Tree of Life, you wouldn't like. Honestly, I think Tree of Life could have been better. It's a little slow. I can't even
Like,
I really.
I
Like
do think by the
I gotta refresh my memory.
2010s, it did the film industry did start to struggle, and I did notice that by the end of it.
It's hard to say sometimes. It's hard to tell if it's just me, my own like taste or if it is really like there's not as many good movies, because it felt like the decade before this had a lot of movies I was interested by, and now it's harder to find them. I don't know.
Okay, recommendations. Moneyball. Brad Pitt.
I have not seen that.
It's
I'm
good.
writing things down. Go ahead.
And the other one is Tinker's Tailor Soldier Spy.
Oh, I've heard about that.
Gary Oldman.
Yeah, I heard that was kind of like slow and plodding, but I have actually been interested to see it.
Yep,
But
it's
I
good.
knew that was something I needed to pay attention to.
Well, I would say, I think we talked about this, and I think you don't like Ryan Gosling, so I wasn't going to bring it up. But Drive,
Yeah, definitely.
you don't want to watch Drive,
Yeah, I've seen that floating around. I'm just like zero interest.
So, Bridesmaids. There's movies I like here, but I mean, we already talked about.
Bridesmaids was fun. Bridesmaids was actually fun.
We already talked about Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the remake. With
That was the American version. Okay, I should write. That was 2011.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down. Maybe Arturo would like to watch that.
Source Code.
Oh, I saw that. I saw that the same week that I saw The Lincoln Lawyer, and I remember I felt very unsettled and not very. I don't know. It was disturbing, and I didn't appreciate it too much.
Which one?
Source Code.
What was that one about?
Oh, it's about this guy who he's like on this. He has to find a terrorist on a train or something.
Oh, we watched that movie.
Did you come to see it in the theater?
Yeah, we went to go see that movie.
Yeah, we went to go see it. It was the same week because we were at the beach.
Yeah, we were at the beach. Yeah, like he's. Yeah.
Well, yeah. In case.
But they
Colin
were using him to find the killer.
Nah, it's fine. It's fine. I don't want to see that one. I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Contagion and Aliens was 2011. Yeah.
Kind of timely.
We saw that. We saw that in California in that year.
What movie? Contagion?
No, Cowboys and Aliens.
Oh, Contagion. Does that have Chris Pine?
I don't remember if he
had Harrison Ford.
It's got Matt Damon.
I'm thinking of something totally different. I've seen Contagion.
I'm talking about Cowboys and Aliens.
I know. Colin was talking about Contagion. We saw I Am Number 4, which is based on a book. I enjoyed the movie, but it was okay.
Justin Bieber, Never Say Never.
I'll pass.
Okay,
pass.
You might actually like. I just saw this one. I think it's Woody Allen's best movie, and he's not in it. Owen Wilson's in it. Midnight in Paris. That's a fun movie. It's like a
fantasy. It's not a sex tip.
It's a fantasy comedy. No, you're right. It is.
By that point, Don, you might as well just like not listen, totally like forgot. Not even respond.
Oh, Rango came out. You guys went and saw Rango as well.
Yeah,
and that's a movie.
Okay,
I have not seen that movie all the way through. I've only seen bits and pieces of it.
You can rewatch it if you want. I've seen it.
In the Name of the King 2.
I assume you've both seen Bridesmaids and X-Men First Class.
Yes,
we saw First Class. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I've seen Bridesmaids. Arturo has not.
But seriously,
Colin, weren't you in California that same year?
Yeah, it was in 2011 and 2012. That's when I lived in California. I moved there the summer of 2011. Came back.
Wow. Oh wow, yeah, because we went over there. We went over there around August.
Yeah, it was for.
We saw Cowboy versus Aliens there in a movie theater.
Yeah.
In LA.
Where the films are made.
No, we also went to see the one of the Apes movies.
Well, you did. I never saw them.
Yeah. Oh, Turo.
I never seen the first one, nor the second one, nor the last one.
I just remember that was the same weekend. They got married the same weekend that Kim Kardashian, one of the Kardashian girls, got married. I just remember that the same weekend. Yeah, I'm still scrolling through. I don't think I'll get through with checking out all of them. So I'll, before this before this stream.
Well,
has
there's
to
maybe a
end.
few.
Oh,
I can
Scream 4.
Oh, well, I haven't seen the other Screams though.
Oh, shameful.
And the other things I can see, they're more academic. They're more like homework. But
Right.
The Thing and the Fright Night remix.
Oh, The Thing,
I
Oh,
must
the
have-
prequel to The
I
Thing.
actually liked both of those.
yeah, the Thing remake wasn't like
It wasn't a remake though. It was
It
a
was
It was a
prequel.
prequel.
It
it
was
was
a
pretty
prequel.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it too. And Fright
Why
Night,
do people keep saying it's a remake?
because they think because
same
it's got
name.
the
Because
same
it's
title.
a self-built kind of thing.
Well, yeah, it's the same title, and the John Carpenter movie's a remake. So it's like
Yeah.
Of 50s.
they
Yeah.
remade it again. Is
Need to
the-
jump in. It's time to wrap up.
Oh yeah. Yes, it is. You're right. We're like less
Uh-oh.
than a minute
Oh,
away.
yeah.
So we'll go ahead and wrap this up before StreamYard kicks us off
Good
completely.
night, everybody.
Thank you to
Fun,
everybody who
everybody in the
showed
chat.
up. This was a lot of fun. And we'll try to do the next
2011,
one.
here we come.
Maybe the last
We're never gonna get
the
this
last
under
Monday
4
or
hours.
Tuesday of February. So we'll see. I'll let y'all know. And bye everyone. Thank you.